Hey, this is Tyler Gilbert, driver of the '04 mainly asphalt Camaro. We're watching XCAL on Tella TV.
Esto es XCAL League, soy Octavio Rondoleto y me verás arriba del Tella 77.
Hi, this is Angelo Esposito, driver of the 33 machine, and you're watching XCAL Racing on Telesign TV.
Hi, this is Kenny Tripp, driver of the main model truck service Camaro. You're watching XCAL Racing on Telesign TV.
Hey, ich heiße Raphael Sempro und bin der Fahrer des Wagens mit der Nummer 74 und ihr guckt XCAL Racing auf Telesign TV.
This is Ryan Soper, driver of the number 84 RS racing car, and you're watching XCAL Racing on Telesign TV.
Good evening, my friend, and welcome to another Telesign TV production. My name is PDJ Zeller, the voice of XCAL Racing. We are getting ready for a 350-lap affair this evening from the Concord Speedway down in Concord, North Carolina. We have had some epic heat races. This one promises to be just as good as the last three that we have had. Before the race, though, we've had a little bit of a thing going on the last couple weeks or so where we've had Higgins, the XCAL superfan, kind of show up at the racetrack. And now this week, he actually is going to be riding in a car with Kenny Tripp. Kenny Tripp actually installed a passenger seat in his car this week. Higgins, the XCAL superfan, is actually riding with Kenny, the Tripp this week. So we have them both up here. We're talking to him before the race. And first off, let me start off by asking Kenny. Kenny, how were you able to put a passenger seat in your car and not, throw off the weight too much in it?
That was the tricky part. Hopefully, after this race is on, we still pass Tech, but I think we'll be all right. Hopefully, he stays in the car.
All right, and Higgins, I see they're getting you all buckled into his car and whatnot. I gotta ask, have you ever been in a race car before?
I've definitely been in at least a car. I'm pretty fucking drunk, and I don't know who took my T-shirt. These buckles really fucking hurt on my nipples. Can we do something about that, please?
We certainly can. And now back to Kenny. Kenny, not only Higgins, but you actually had to put a little case in there to hold his 30 rack of Bud Lights. How were you able to pull that off, and how did you get that through Tech?
We actually installed that in the car after Tech. It's all full of ice, ready to go. I just hope I don't get smelling like beer too much. And I'll have my wife get some maxi pads for you to put on your breasts.
Well, Higgins, back over to you now. As you get ready to go through this race, do you have any idea what you're getting yourself into here, or are you just going to be drinking and going along for the ride?
The question is, does Kenny know what he's getting himself into? He is definitely going to smell like beer after this. I am a very sloppy drunk, and I am definitely going to make him drink at least 3 with me. No questions asked. And I genuinely just appreciate the maxi pads. I definitely. Thank you.
All right, well, looks like you guys are going to the grid, so best of luck to both of you. And any last words for each other before we send you off there?
Let's get her done. Give her hell.
All right, Kenny. Make me and Mama proud, boy.
All right, well, that was Kenny the Helmet Tripp and Higgins the XCAL superfan. But now we go to the grid here as they are getting lined up and ready to go. Here we go, starting on pole position. That is position number 1 will be the 04 of Tyler Gilbert. On his outside in the number 28 machine will be Steven Rex. In third, in the number 50, will be Mark Royce, and in fourth, in the 454, will be Luke Turpin. In fifth, in the number 12, will be Kenny, the Helmet Tripp, and Higgins, the XCAL superfan, apparently as well. And in sixth, will be the number 31 of Josh Rogers. In seventh, will be the number 45 of Travis Sukup. In eighth, will be the number 34 of Nick Ramsey. In ninth will be the number 48 of Jordan Babinger, and in 10th will be the number 32 of Trevor Birchmere. In 11th will be the number 57 of Alex Halinar, 12th will be the 77 of Octavio Rondoletto, 13th will be the number 61 of Greg Holes, 14th will be the number 53 of Tyler Batchelder, 15th will be the number 11 of Heather Patrick, 16th will be the 08 of William Karp, 17th will be the 82 of Alex Gangler, 18th will be the 44 of Pedro Jose Luis Bywans, 19th will be the 84 of Jeremy Leto. 20th will be the 01 of John Schwartz. 21st will be the 5 of Derek Colson. 22nd will be the 06 of Cody Jones. 23rd will be the 16 of Pat Sullivan. 24th will be the 37 of Art Hendren. 25th will be the 7 of Jeff Edgar. 26th will be the 2 of Ben Eaton. 27th will be the 52 of Marty Zakala. 28th will be the number 74 of Rafael Sempruch. 29th will be the 062 of Johnny B. And 30th will be the 03 of Aquinas LaBeouf. 31st will be the 99 of Tyler McRae. 32nd will be last week's winner, the number 1 of Brandon Varney. And rounding out the field in 33rd will be the 85 of Ryan Soper. 33 cars look to take the green flag for 350 laps from Concord, North Carolina. This track is pretty much like a mini Pocono. 3 corners, very tight, concrete on both sides. If they wreck, there's not a lot of room to go, unlike the last 2 weeks where there was no walls. This week, there's excessive walls. The pace car makes that hard left-hand turn. The drivers are not permitted to go until they get to the restart zone. They come through turns 3 and 4, and it is a green flag's in the air. They're down and away, and it's Steven Rex on the outside. Rex timed that start perfect. Rex is going to take over the lead as they head down into turn number 1. It is Jalbert, though, getting back into him. Jalbert's going to take the top spot back. They go 3 wide behind them. They went 3 wide with, there they go around. The 32 of Birchmere spins the 48 of Babinger into the wall. Caution is not out yet. We're going to see if they're going to throw it. I am not seeing a caution. They are not throwing the yellow yet. Jordan Babinger stuck up against the wall. He's going to get back going. Trevor Birchmere also in bad shape. That car, he pulled it right off the racetrack. No caution flies for that one there. We are still under green flag conditions. Kind of surprised on that one, but we still race under green. Back up front, your leader is still Tyler Jalbert. Second place is now Luke Turpin. Up to third is Mark Royce. Fourth is Kenny the Helmet Tripp. And a battle for fifth, Nick Ramsey goes to the inside of Steven Rex. Here we go. Ramsey in the 34 car. He drives it down below the 28. Ramsey gets that machine up off the corner. Back at the start-finish line, it was Ramsey in fifth that time by. Rex, though, giving him a fight on the high side. Rex trying to keep that 34 car from advancing, but his efforts will not go well. The 34 car takes over the fifth position, so Ramsey breaks the top 5, and Rex will go back to sixth now as we look up through the field. Running in second on the racetrack, but a lap down, is the 48 of Jordan Babinger. That car, he needs to get back up behind the 04 machine, or around the 04 machine rather, because he is 1 lap down. If he can get back by the 04, he would get his lap back, but as of right now, he does run 1 lap down, and Trevor Birchmere has gone 4 laps down by pitting. I'm kind of confused why he took the quick tow, but he has gone 4 laps down, so he gets that car back out there. So up front, everything is still pretty much the same. We're going to take a look back now. About maybe 7th or 8th might be where the first real battle is. Yes, we do have one. Side by side, Greg Holes goes with the 45 of Travis Sukup. This is for 10th spot. Holes to the inside, gets a good run, and that's 61 of Greg Holes. Holes, who, by the way, has just signed with Rolling Thunder Racing last week. He is going to take over 10th position from Travis Sukup. Right in front of him is the 77 of Octavio Rondoletto, Alex Hallinar, and a whole bunch of cars run right in front of these guys. Looks like the 08 of William Karp might be trying to make a move there on the 45 of Sukup. Here comes Karp to the inside. Karp drives the 08 machine under the number 45, and Karp is going to now move up into the 11th spot. The 44 of Pedro Jose Luis Baiwan's also trying to make a move here. Up front, there has been a change in position, though. The 34 of Nick Ramsey has gone around the 12 of Kenny Tripp, so you can move Ramsey up 1 more spot now. A battle really starting to form for second. The number 50 of Mark Royce, who he's been away from XCAL for a few weeks now. He's had some issues in his new home, but he finally got his connection set up properly. He's able to race. He actually won his heat race. I believe he won heat number 4. And here in the feature, he's running right up the tailpipes to Luke Turpin. That 50 of Royce looking stout so far. A great return to XCAL up to this point. It's only lap 11 of 350, but an impressive weekend, I should say, so far from the 50 team of Mark Royce. So he runs right behind Luke Turpin. Ramsey now up to 4th. He's starting to make up a little ground on the leaders, as we do still have Babinger running all over the back bumper of Jalbert. Remember, that is for a lap. Babinger knows he's fast. He's been fast all weekend. He would like to get back on the lead lap, so if caution should fly, he would be in position to just be able to pit like everyone else. So we look back through the field, though. A battle is forming now for, it looks like it's 10th, or 9th and 10th, excuse me. Greg Holes has caught up to Josh Rogers. Holes looks to the inside. Holes has the nose in. Rogers on the high side, drives the car off the corner, and Rogers is actually going to clear him, so Rogers hangs on to the 9th spot for the time being, but that 61 of Holes really starting to make his way up to the field. Here comes Holes once again. Holes drives down to the inside. The 61 of Holes is right there with the 31. The 31 gets a little tight, and Greg Holes is going to take over the 9th spot, so move Holes up to 9th. Here comes Carp trying to follow him through. Carp gets the nose in, and he almost gets into Holes. He hangs on to it, though. Carp moves into 10th, and now Rogers goes from 9th to 11th, so tough break there for Rogers, but still a long race, a long way to go. As we look around the racetrack, we have a battle for the lead really starting to form. The 04 of Tyler Jalbert's under all sorts of pressure from behind as Jordan Babinger still trying to get his lap back. Right behind him, though, Luke Turpin and that 50 of Mark Royce, they are running right up that tailpipe to Jordan Babinger. I mean, they're trying to get there. It looks like we have a little smoke on the racetrack. I don't see anyone gone around. We are still green. One thing for our leaders now, too, is they're starting to work in the lap traffic. 31st place Johnny B and 30th Derek Colson and Art Hendren all run right in front of them right now, so the leaders starting to get into a little bit of lap trouble here. We'll have to see how they negotiate their way through it, as sometimes in these races, lap traffic can be the difference. We've seen that happen a lot the last few weeks, and could be the case again. Here we go, battle for 7th. Octavio Rondoletto gets to the inside of Alex Halinar. They touch doors a little bit off the corner. Rondoletto on the low side. He slid up a little bit, it looks like. The 57 now right back on his bumper, and it looks like the 77 will prevail. Behind them, a battle is on for the 9th and 10th positions as William Karp looks to make an advance on the 61 of Greg Holes. Holes doing a fine job driving that machine around the racetrack. He started all the way back at 13th. He's already up to 9th, picking up 4 spots in the first 19 laps of this race. As here we go in front of them, it looks like the 57 of Halinar gets back to the inside of Rondoletto. That battle's not over for 7th yet, and it looks like Rondoletto, though, on the high side, able to keep the RPMs up. He is going to drive that machine right away from Halinar, and maintaining 7th position will be Octavio Rondoletto, although Halinar all over him is a great battles forming for about 7th through 12th right. In front of Rondoletto, not a whole lot going on. Everyone's a pretty single file, although the 50 of Mark Royce did just have some problems getting around the lap car of Derek Colson. And Mark Royce goes up the racetrack. He gets really tight. Here comes Ramsey to the inside. This is for 3rd spot. Nick Ramsey gets to the inside now of Mark Royce, but it's going to be Royce on the high side, keeping the RPMs up. Royce is going to prevail. So for 3rd spot, Mark Royce is able to hang on for the time being, as it looks like a good battle's forming there, though, between Mark Royce, Nick Ramsey, and Kenny Tripp, and even Stephen Rex right up in there, that battle right now, too. They're all having a difficult time getting around the lap car, Derek Colson. It looks like they finally get around the 5. The 5 might have just gave way there. So for the time being, Mark Royce is going to hang on to the spot, but he has some hefty competition behind him, and he got a little bit tight again in that corner. Here comes Ramsey once again. Ramsey right up his bumper. Let's see if Ramsey peeks to the inside. Nothing doing there, but Royce really starting to overdrive these corners a little bit, and that is just leaving the door open for the 34 of Ramsey. Here we go. Ramsey peeks to the inside. 34 machine gets down low, and off the corner, it's going to be Royce keeping the RPMs up again. Royce is going to keep the spot. Now Tripp, the helmet, looks to the outside of that 34 of Ramsey. Let's see if he can keep it up there. And yeah, I think that 12 car is sticking a little bit better to the outside today. It has the extra weight on the right side with Higgins, and it's really keeping that car planted to the outside of the racetrack. So Tripp continues to try to make up ground on Ramsey as they kind of get things sorted out up there. Back to this battle for 7th on back. It has settled down a little bit. What we have had happen is William Karp and Pedro Jose Luis Baiwans have both gotten around Greg Holes to move up to 9th and 10th respectively. And Holes dropping a little bit right now. But Karp is all over the back bumper of Alex Halinar. That's for 8th position. Karp seems moving upwards so far, as we are going to keep monitoring that. Our leader's still working through some lap traffic. Tyler Jalbert has about a 1 second advantage over 2nd place Luke Turpin. Jalbert has led wire to wire so far since winning the pole in yesterday's event. Still the 2nd car in line is the 48 of Jordan Babinger. He has not let Luke Turpin get around him quite yet. We'll have to see what Turpin can do here, if he can maybe get around Babinger and start to make up a little ground on our leader. Everything getting pretty sorted out here. Here we go for 8th, though. Carp peeks to the inside of Hallinar. Carp finally found an opening. Hallinar tries to shut the door, but Carp drives it in there. Carp gets way underneath the 57, gets a little loose on exit. That gives the 57 a good run down the back straightaway. They head down to turn 3, and it is going to be Hallinar has to make room for the 08. The 08 drives it in there, but Hallinar with a big run off the corner. He is going to hang on to the 8th position for the time being. Catching both these guys right now is 10th place Pedro Jose Luis By-Ones. All these cars trying to make their way around the lap car of Derek Colson, and Colson had give our leader some issues earlier in the run here, so we'll have to see if they can make it around him successfully. It looks like, Colson gets into the wall, By-Ones gets into his bumper, so they almost made it around him successfully, but trouble's there. Carp is still all over Hallinar right, though, for 8th and 9th. Those two run right under a blanket right now. Looks like Carp just can't find a way to make that car stick, though, to the bottom side of the racetrack when he gets underneath the 57. He appears to be a little quicker, but just isn't able to do much with it right now. As we still have some good battles, though, up near the top 5. Tyler Jalbert starting to check out on Luke Turpin a little bit. Jalbert up to a 1.7 advantage on the field. And Turpin just trying to hang with him for the time being, it would appear. The battle for 3rd through about 5th, though, is really heated up. And honestly, you could say that's probably about 3rd through 6th, because Stephen Rex is hanging in there. Ramsey has started to reel in the number 50 of Mark Royce once again. The battle for 8th is on, actually. Here we go. The William Cart machine has gotten to the inside of Alex Hallinar. Hallinar still manning the outside, but Carp finally found a hole on the inside. Carp drives it deep in the corner, and once again just gets a little tight, and the 57's able to clear him. Carp just cannot find a way to clear the 57. He can catch him, he can get to his inside. Now By-Ones gives him the bumper. By-Ones pushes the 08 of Carp up the racetrack, and By-Ones gets the door from Carp. Carp goes hard into the outside wall. By-Ones gets the position, and Carp now is going to be stuck in a battle for 11th with Greg Holes. A tough break there for Carp, as him and the 44 went at it a little bit. The 08 of Carp drives that machine around the high side. He is trying to keep it ahead of the 61 of Holes, and with a good run off the corner, Holes just kind of cuts him off a little bit there. Holes will take over the 10th spot, so that is all settled and taken care of for the time being. We have a battle starting to form for 6th and 7th now. Octavio Rondoletto has caught the 28. Here go Kenny Tripp goes to the inside of Ramsey. Tripp with the nose in. Ramsey maybe trying to pinch him a little bit, but Tripp drives the car off the corner. He keeps it to the inside of the 34 of Ramsey. They go side by side for 4th right now, and Tripp to the inside has the nose in, but Ramsey's going to be able to get the good run off the corner. Down the front stretch, Ramsey does have it by a little bit, and he does not quite clear Tripp. Tripp keeps the nose in, and Tripp and Ramsey do battle for that is, I believe, 4th right now. So side by side they go, and Ramsey will clear Tripp. So Ramsey hangs on to the 4th position for the time being. I do believe we've had a minor incident on the racetrack, but it looks like everyone's collected it and kept it going, so no caution is flown. Tripp goes back to the inside now of Ramsey there, side by side. Tripp does have the nose in there. Let's see if he can make it stick through turn 2. He does. He's going to have a good chance if he can get into 3 and 4 good here. Tripp does take a conservative line through the corner and gets a good run off. They are dead even as they come back to the stripe. They head down into 1 and 2, and Tripp does get a little bit of that apron. That's going to mess him up quite a bit. They go down to the tunnel turn, and it's going to be Tripp, though, making up a little bit of ground once again. He's going to need another good 3 and 4 if he wants to keep this battle going side by side, and he will not. It's going to be Ramsey prevailing for the time being, so Ramsey hangs on to 4th. Here we go. It's going to be Rondoletto now taking over the 6th spot from Stephen Rex. Rondoletto really took it over with no challenge there. Rex just kind of let him have it. As behind these guys, a lot of the battles have simmered down. Not a whole lot exciting going on behind these guys. Our leaders have lapped all the way up to 19th spot so far. There's only 19 cars running on the lead lap. Tyler Jalbert still has a 1.5 second advantage over Luke Turpin as we run. And here we go, battle on for 5th. Octavio Rondoletto gets to the inside of Kenny Tripp. Rondoletto drives the 77 car down to the low side, but Tripp keeps the momentum up on the high side. He's going to hang on to 5th for the time being. Tripp now gets right up on the bumper of Nick Ramsey. Great battle going on all the way 4th through about 6th or 7th right now, looks like, as Mark Royce has opened up a little bit of an advantage on these guys, so 3rd has gotten away. But still, these guys having a hard time finding their way around Nick Ramsey. Here we go, almost 3 wide. Tripp gets into Ramsey. Ramsey hangs on to it. Rondoletto goes to the inside of Tripp, and now Rondoletto is going to get by Kenny. So move the 77 of Octavio Rondoletto now up into the 5th spot. As here we go, Stephen Rex drives it underneath the 12 of Kenny Tripp. Looks like everyone's going to hang on to it for the time being. Let's see if the 28 car can get a good run through the corner. He drives it down on the low side. Tripp, though, doing a good job fighting back on the high side of the racetrack right now. Him and Rex make contact. Rex almost spins. Rex is going to drive it deep into the corner, though. He gets in a trip, and Rex is going to go around. The 28 of Rex goes around from 7th. He's in the middle of the racetrack. He gets it back going, but now Semperuch has stopped blocking the bottom of the speedway. A big clog here in turn number 3. Let's see if caution's going to fly or not. Semperuch, it looks like he has gotten the car back going, so Semperuch does get his machine back rolling, and we will continue racing. So it's shame there for Steven Rex, who was up in 7th. He's going to lose a cluster of spots as he drops like a rock. But Octavio Rondoletto is going to move up to 4th now. Ramsey's back to 5th, and you still have all over him for 5th is Kenny Tripp. So only thing that has changed here is that Pedro By-Ones is now up to 7th. Here we go. Tripp goes to the inside of Ramsey. Tripp gets to the inside now, and that 12-car race is side by side with Ramsey. Ramsey continues to man the high side of the racetrack, but that 12-car doing a good job keeping the car pinned to the low side. It's not easy to race on the low side here at Concord from what we've seen so far, but it looks like in turn number 3, the 34 does get a little tight, and the 12-car has almost cleared him, and yes, he does. The 12-car gets the position into turn 1. Ramsey drives right back up to the bumper, but it's going to be Tripp hanging on for the time being. Catching both these guys is actually Ramsey's teammate, the 44 of Pedro Jose Luis By-Ones. By-Ones is right up on these guys as Tripp opens up a little ground now between him and Ramsey. Battle about to be on for 6th as By-Ones has caught right up to his teammate. Also following By-Ones is the number 61 of Greg Holes. Holes doing a good job driving that car up through the field. Let's see what happens here as we go down into turns number 3. And it looks like Ramsey's going to go high for his teammate, the 44 By-Ones. And By-Ones will move into 6th spot for the time being. Actually, it looks like Ramsey's going to fight back on the high side, but no, it's going to be By-Ones taking the spot. Now here comes Holes to the inside for 7th. Ramsey is going to fight back with the 61. Ramsey drives it deep on the outside. 61 gets the run off the corner, though, and it's going to be Holes as they come down the front stretch. Holes is going to take over the spot, so move Holes up to 7th, although Ramsey does try the crossover. Ramsey peeks back to the inside. He does have the nose in, but off turn 2, it is going to be Holes. Nope, Ramsey drives it in deep. Ramsey does drive it in there deep, but it will not stick, and Holes is going to take over 7th off the corner. So Holes move him up to 7th, as now we have a couple changes in position here. Mark Royce is starting to be caught a little bit by the 77 of Octavio Rondoletto, and our leader, Tyler Jalbert, is starting to get reeled in by Luke Turpin a little bit as things start to heat up. As we do have a little bit of a calm moment here, we're going to take a 30-second timeout for station identification. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back with more action on Telesign TV. Welcome back, my friend, and as we come back, 10th place Alex Hallinar hard into the outside wall. He's going to get shuffled back a little bit. Welcome back here, though, to the absolutely XCAL 350 here on December 22nd from the Concord Speedway, as this race is really starting to get things heated up. The margin for the lead's getting closer by the lap. Battles for position really heating up right now. We have a great battle going on through about 9th through 11th. William Karp sits in 9th, but Brandon Varney, after starting in 32nd position, has already driven that car up to 10th place. I will say, in practice all week and even in the heat races, Varney was one of the quickest cars all week long, and he's already proved that by moving up into 10th this early in the run. As here we go, he's in a mess of lap cars. He gets underneath the 08 of Karp, and now the 1 machine is going to move up another spot, move Varney up to 9th. An impressive run through the field so far. Here we go, battle on for 10th. Behind him, John Schwartz gets to the inside of the 08, and it's going to be Schwartz picking up the 10th position. So we'll move Schwartz up one more spot here as we go down into the corner with a mess of lap cars around these guys. And green flag pit stops, it looks like they have maybe started to begin a little bit. Maybe I'm just wrong. As the 28 gets an Alex Hallinar. The 28 Hallinar wrecks hard into the corner. That's going to be a caution. As, oh my goodness, Steven Rex just looks like he absolutely gave it to Alex Hallinar there. And we're going to see what happened on the replay in a moment. But watching that live, it did not look good. Hard contact with Alex Hallinar on the outside wall. We'll have to see what happened here in a moment. And the replay is up, and you see the 57 was in front of the 28, and going into turn 1, the 28 just got right into the quarter panel of the 57, and just Alex Hallinar wrecked right into the outside wall. Hard contact. Fortunately, it looks like no one else was involved. We're going to have to try to catch a word with Alex Hallinar and hear what he has to say about that one, though, as a wild caution there. And we're trying to tune in the radio right now, and Alex, it's PD up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Alex, awfully hard contact with that outside wall in turn number 2. Take us through what happened.
Simple. I got dumped by someone that can't pass cleanly. He did the same thing to me in the heat race. He's lucky I saved it, or else he would have gotten a strike. His teammate took me out on purpose last week. He just took me out twice, and within the span of 3 laps. I'm done.
Yeah, the car looks pretty toast, Alex. Looking forward to the future, though. Obviously, next week we're hoping to see you back on the racetrack. For 2021, do you and your teammate Colin Hefner have plans to run the full season and compete for the championship?
I think me and him will have to talk out more about driver championships, because we're both in college and we won't know our schedules yet. Who knows, I might have a class or something on Tuesday nights. I might just have to be an owner. But definitely, we would at least like to have 2 cars run full time, and we got our 3rd entry who wasn't able to make it this week, Michael Henderson. We're looking good for next season. Not looking good tonight because of one hothead.
10-4, Alex. Well, tough luck there, and best of luck to you and the team next week, my friend.
Thank you.
All right, that was driver Alex Hallinar of the number 57 machine. Obviously very frustrated there after an interesting wreck with Steven Rex. As these guys come down pit road and get new tires and gas in their cars, we are going to take a 30-second timeout for station identification. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back on Tella TV. Welcome back, my friend. We're here live from the Concord Speedway as we are 66 laps into this 350-lap affair. Our first caution of the evening being displayed for an incident between Steven Rex and Alex Hallinar. So as we get things sorted out here, obviously a lot of lap cars intertwined with one another here. Things kind of got all messed up here with this restart. So here's the running order, though, after everyone's pitted. Tyler Jalbert's still the leader. He's led wire to wire so far. Second's going to be Brandon Varney. Third, Nick Ramsey. Fourth, Mark Royce. Fifth, Tyler Batchelder. Sixth, Luke Turpin. Seventh, Ben Eaton. Eighth, Cody Jones. Ninth, Heather Patrick. And 10th will be Jeremy Leto. Only 11 cars on the lead lap. John Schwartz is currently in 11th, the last car on the lead lap as they get doubled up and ready to go back green. The way this is going to restart is Jalbert's in the lead, and then 3 seconds behind him, about 6 rows behind him, will be Brandon Varney, and then about another 6 rows behind Varney will be Mark Royce, and then the rest of the field is just kind of filled in behind Royce. Pitch strategy kind of traps some guys a lap down. Kenny Tripp, William Karp, Greg Holes, Pedro Bywans, Octavio Rondoletto, looking at some other guys, Jordan Babinger. All these guys got trapped laps down due to various pitch strategy here, and it has left us with 11 cars in the lead lap, and then 12th through 19th are 1 lap down, 20th through 24th are 2 laps down, 25th through 28th are 3 laps down, and everyone in the top 30s within 5 laps. 32 of the 33 starters still remain on the racetrack, as 33rd Trevor Birchmere has officially called it a night. He's pulled that car from competition, so tough break there for Birchmere. But as the pace car it looks like the pace car has pulled down pit road. And we're going green this time off turn 4, and green flag in the air. They're down and away. The 04 of Tyler Jalbert with a nice jump there. He's going to keep that machine out in front. Jalbert, impressive start so far in this one, as he has kept that car out in front for all the laps in this race. We will have to see, though, if Brandon Varney can catch up to him. Varney was looking good in practice all week. Remember, he started 32nd. He is already up to second position in this race. Varney, a real-life, I don't want to say the division because I do not know the division for sure, but he is a real-life champion of one of the divisions at the Oxford Speedway. That is all that I know about Varney. I'll try to get an official series of what that is tomorrow. But regardless, the kid's good. Kenny Tripp's nephew knows how to wheel a race car. And he is up to second position right now. And he is really... And caution's out on the speedway. Caution is out on the speedway. We'll have to see what that flew for, as we are under our second caution period of the night. And it looks like Nick Ramsey has gone around. So I believe that started near the 34 of Ramsey. We'll have to see what happened there as we try to get the replay up for you. The replay is up, and it looks like they're going through turns 3 and 4, and they're coming 3 wide off of turn 3, which is just not a good idea. And it just kind of looks like they all met in the middle there. I mean, they're going 3 wide off a corner that you can barely go 2 wide off of, and Ramsey got pretty heavy damage in that one. Looks like Tyler McRae, pretty heavy damage in that one. And I'm not sure if anyone else got anything too heavy in that, but definitely McRae and Ramsey getting a big piece of that one there. So we're going to try to catch a word with Nick Ramsey, who was collected in that accident. As Nick Ramsey, it's PD up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I do. How's it going, guys?
Not too bad, Nick. Well, it looks like you were involved in a little bit of an incident there while you were racing up in the 3rd spot. Tell us what happened.
Oh, just a little fender bender. Looks like the scoring loop was messed up again. We were marked in 3rd with a ton of cars in front of us, so I'm not sure what happened there, but a little bit of uncalled for traffic there.
Well, Nick, as you're looks like you're still going to be running up near the front. How's the car feel? Do you feel like you got much damage from that, or are you feeling good?
Well, it drives straight. That's about all I know right now.
All right, well, 10-4, Nick. Well, I'll let you get back with your team, but best of luck to you in the rest of this race, and hopefully that thing still has all the speed.
Thank you.
All right, that was Nick Ramsey, driver of the number 34 machine. As we're still waiting on our second member of the broadcast booth to join us, Paul Coleman Jr. has actually just got an update from him, and he had to go on a 3-hour drive today, and it looks like he is almost back. So we're waiting for Paul. He said that he should be back any time now. Paul lives in the Concord area. I think this would be the one track he'd be on time for, but you know Paul, he gets out on his little adventures, and you're never quite sure about when you're going to see Paul again. So as we do get things sorted out, what this will do is it will allow all the leaders to be running up near each other. Here is how things are going to run when we get this thing restarted. First is going to be Tyler Jalbert. Second is going to be Brandon Varney. Third is going to be Luke Turpin. Fourth will be Mark Royce. Fifth will be Nick Ramsey. Sixth will be John Schwartz. Seventh will be Tyler Batchelder. Eighth will be Heather Patrick. Or actually, eighth will be Greg Holes. Ninth will be Heather Patrick. 10th will be Kenny the Helmet Tripp. And 11th will be William Karp. And the top 11 will all be on the lead lap. And then 12th and down will be 12th through 18th will be 1 lap down, as we'll have to see where everyone sorts out. So 11 cars in the lead lap. It's lap number 77. And laps just continuing to click away in this thing. I mean, such a short little track like Concord, this race will go by in the blink of an eye. It really does not take long to click away laps here from the Concord Speedway. As this time by the flag stand, looks like they're still getting things sorted out here. Maybe a little confusion on how things are supposed to be lined up. And yeah, that's exactly what it is. It looks like they're just having some issues getting all these guys in their proper lineup orders, so race control taking the extra time right now to try to make sure everyone's gridded where they should be and lined up where they're supposed to be. This restart will be really interesting because last week's winner, Brandon Varney, who's been so quick in practice all week, finished second in his heat race. He had to start 32nd, but he will actually be starting on the front row this time, running in second position right next to Tyler Jalbert. Jalbert, a teammate essentially to Brandon Varney, has led wire to wire. But that Varney car has just looked so strong. We'll have to see if Varney can get around the 04 of Jalbert. And what a competitor that Varney's really proved to be as of late. He was starting off in XCAL, maybe being a borderline top 5 runner. Didn't seem to completely get it at first. But now that he's kind of learned how this league works, learned how to do the XCAL stuff, he topped it off by winning last week, and he's been driving near the front in just about every race. At Oxford, he was actually running up in the top 2 before his motor. Brandon Varney has been impressing a lot of people with an XCAL, that's for sure, as of late. They come off turn 4, green flag in the air, they're down and away. It's the 04 of Tyler Jalbert. He's going to take the lead heading into turn number 1, but Brandon Varney hangs to his outside. Jalbert gets a little loose in the corner. Varney has the nose ahead as they go through turn 2. Jalbert pulls the car back up even as they head down to 3, and Varney's going to slide in the line. Let's see if he can pull a crossover off. Varney peeks down to the inside. Varney does have the run. They're going to go side by side for the top spot. Brandon Varney on the low side of the racetrack trying to drive the absolute heck out of that car. He cannot keep it down there, though. Jalbert's going to hang on to the lead for the time being. They do battle for third. Mark Royce is all over the back bumper of Luke Turpin, and as I say that, Royce gets a little loose, so Royce will slide back to 4th. Up front, the battle is starting to simmer down a little bit. Jalbert has opened up a gap between him and Varney. Sitting in 5th right now is John Schwartz, and looking back behind him, seeing if there's any other good top 10 battles going on. Looks like everything else is pretty much under wraps, so we do have the 08 of William Karp. He's in a battle for 6th right now with Greg Holes. Holes is going to take 6th away from Karp. Karp will slide back to 7th. As now Kenny Tripp's going to go around Karp, so Karp's going to pick up, Kenny Tripp's going to pick up 7th. Back up front to the front of the field, though, where things are interesting. Luke Turpin is all over the back bumper right now of that one car of Varney. And Varney, I'll be honest, I kind of thought in the start he was going to find a way around Tyler Jalbert and get around the 04 and maybe lead some laps. It has not happened yet. Tyler Jalbert has continued to lead this thing. That 04 of Jalbert has really looked like the car to beat up to this point in the race. That one of Varney, though, continuing to run in his tire tracks. He is trying to catch up to Jalbert, see what he can do. And as the 04 machine continues to show the way around the racetrack, Tyler Jalbert does. The one car, though, is starting to close a little bit of ground back on the 04. Varney playing this well, really starting to make up some time, lose some of that, or gain some of that lost ground back. And he is pulling away from Luke Turpin for 3rd, without a doubt. So here we go. The leaders go up on the 28 car of Steven Rex, and Rex is going to try to get up out of the way. That did open the door up for a moment for Varney. Varney did peek to the inside, but now he's checked back up and went back to the low side. Here he goes again to the inside. He has the car underneath Tyler Jalbert. They go down into turns 3 and 4. Let's see who gets off the corner better. It's awfully close, but it's going to be Jalbert with a run on the high side. Here comes Turpin now to the high side of the one of Varney. Turpin's going to stick the car back in the line. He's going to pull off the crossover. Turpin back to the low side. Jalbert gets loose. They're going to be 3 wide if they're not careful here in a moment. Here we go. Turpin looks to the inside of Jalbert. Nothing doing there. Jalbert's going to hang on for the time being, but Varney now peeks to the outside of Jalbert. Great battle for the lead. Brandon Varney now on the high side, and that one Christmas wrapped car on the low side. It's the 04 of Tyler Jalbert. Varney drives the car up off the corner. Let's see if he can make it stick through 3 and 4. They come through 3 and 4, and for the first time this race, someone other than Tyler Jalbert's going to lead a lap. Varney leads it as he hits the wall. Varney is your new leader, the second leader of this race. Here we go. Turpin looks to the inside of Jalbert, but Jalbert throws the defensive line out at him, and Jalbert runs low enough where Turpin was able to stick the nose in. I don't think Luke Turpin will like that. We might see him use the bumper. Turpin right up the tailpipes now of that 04 car. And also catching right up to this battle is the 50 of Mark Royce, is that 50. He has had a good race so far. He's been running up in the top 5 for pretty much the entirety of this thing. And once again, running up in the top 5 still, 4th position as he runs right behind all the leaders. So Brandon Varney now out in the front, showing the fast way around the racetrack. Still in front of them is the lap car of Steven Rex. Rex, though, remember, he was a competitive car running in the top 5 before he got collected in an accident. So Rex running a good enough pace right now that the leaders don't really have to worry about it. Varney, though, continues to show the way around the racetrack. As looking back to the field, trying to find some other good battles going on. Kenny Tripp has taken 6th away from William Karp. Karp is in 7th. Greg Holes is in 8th. Last car on the lead lap, 9th, is Heather Patrick. And Patrick in danger of being lapped here in just a moment as the leaders start to come up on some lap traffic. Here's the battle for 2nd. Luke Turpin has gotten to the inside of Tyler Jalbert. Jalbert, though, has prevailed for the time being as now Varney gets really loose going around the lap car of Rafael Semprich. Semprich in the 74 currently runs in 24th, 4 laps down. Hasn't been a great go so far for Semprich, but he's still hanging in there, hanging with the blows, as they will say. The top four pretty much all under a blanket right now, as you have Varney, Jalbert, Turpin, and Royce running right up here in this thing, competing with one another. And oh, Turpin gets into the wall. Loses a little bit of ground there to the top two. Now, I'll tell you what about Brandon Varney. Ever since he's taken this lead, that car has not looked as good as it did before he took the lead. He has been a lot more mistake-prone, and that 04 of Tyler Jalbert really hasn't let the one car get away from him. I mean, Jalbert is there competing with the one of Varney. Jalbert now right on the bumper of the one car. Let's see if Jalbert can make a move on his teammate. Expect a little bit of respect between these two, as they are teammates, but they're also both very hard, very aggressive racers, so I don't really think anything's off the table when these two get going at it. Jalbert looking for maybe any bit of room to get under the one car. He might get it here in a moment, as they're in pretty heavy lap traffic. Side by side is Jeremy Leto and Steven Rex in front of the one car of Varney. Nothing doing here, and the 28's can go up the racetrack as they work their way around Leto. The one machine does get around Jeremy Leto successfully, so move Varney now up or around another lap car, but Steven Rex is not making the task easy on him. So Steven Rex is continuing to run his line, and Steven Rex right now, as he sits, he is currently 3 laps down, so he is trying to avoid going 4 laps down right now like the plague, as he does run in front of the 28 and the 82 of Alex Gangler, who currently runs 15th, runs right in front of Steven Rex. Gangler is just 1 lap down, so Gangler would like to keep that car just 1 lap down. However, he will heed way to the leaders, and it looks like everyone will successfully make it around Alex Gangler. So Gangler gets out of the way of the leaders. They are still pinned right behind Steven Rex in the 28, though. Rex not making life easy on these guys. As another dropping bombs car that's starting to come up on that is going to be 22nd place, Art Hendren, who sits 3 laps down. Hendren in the 37 car actually made it into the feature event today by getting the last transfer spot in heat race number 4. An excellent drive there by the 37 of Hendren to get this car into the race. And so far, a pretty clean car sitting 23rd. Not a bad run at all so far for Art Hendren. Steven Rex gets tight off the corner, and the one car drives right into the back of him, as now Jalbert gives the one a little tap. Here we go into 3 and 4. Let's look. The one is going to push the 28 off into the corner, and the one car now is going to drive underneath Steven Rex in the 28, and Rex will just adhere and get out of the way this time. Not sure if something happened between these guys earlier in the race, but the 28 car of Rex didn't seem too happy at all with Brandon Varney there. So maybe some past bitter feelings that I just haven't noted, but nonetheless, the 28 of Steven Rex does finally get out of the way of the leaders. Now he is mired back as a lap car. So up front, Varney continues to show the way, but now he has a clean racetrack in front of him. Let's see if he can use that to his advantage and maybe open up a little bit of ground between him and the 04 of Tyler Jalbert, as the one car is under pretty heavy pressure right now. We're 100 laps into this thing. Actually, 106 laps, you want to be specific, so continuing to click away this race, as I believe we're now a little bit past the 1/3 mark in this thing. I do see some smoke on the racetrack, but I don't see anyone has gone around. We do have a battle starting to brew for 6th spot. Kenny Tripp is under heavy pressure right now from the 08 of William Karp. Karp running right up the bumper of the 12 of Tripp, and Karp has been looking good as this race goes on, I will say. The 08 machine has started to flex a little muscle here as we get going. Another good run so far, too. 10th place currently sitting is a Pedro Bywans. And for Bywans, his return to XCAL after a few weeks currently sits in 10th position right now. What a good run for Bywans. Another good run, too, is I'm just going to compliment everyone here, is we do have a battle for 11th and 12th. Marty Zakala currently sits in 11th, but Octavio Rondoletto races to his inside. A good run up to this point in the race, though, for the Zakala 52 team, as they have been running very well in this one. It's going to be Rondoletto, though, getting to the inside as Zakala. Zakala, though, drives it off the corner. He keeps the RPMs up, and Zakala is going to hang on to the position that lap at least. Although Rondoletto continues to drive it low, and oh my goodness, Ben Eaton drives it deep into the corner. He almost gets into the 77. Well, he did get into the 77 a little bit, and now it's going to be the 52 of Marty Zakala pulling away as the 77 just absolutely got drilled there by the 2 machines. So I'm not sure if that maybe messed up the 77 a little bit, but the 2 car certainly used up the back bumper of Octavio Rondoletto. That is without question right now, as these guys have had a good battle going on. Actually, a pretty decent battle going on, about 11th through 14th, as I see Ben Eaton and Octavio Rondoletto. That's for position. Ben Eaton gets to the inside of Rondoletto, and Ben Eaton in the 2 car, he is going to take the position away, so move Ben Eaton up another spot, but Rondoletto is going to use the crossover. They go off into the corner, and Rondoletto on the inside will not prevail. It's going to be the 2 car of Ben Eaton on the high side. He is going to take over the 11th or 12th position, from the 77 of Octavio Rondoletto. And as they coming up on them is actually the battle for 6th and 7th, as Kenny Tripp doing a good job so far, holding off the number 08 of William Karp. Up front, our leaders are all nose to tail in pretty heavy lap traffic, as Varney is leading the way through these cars right now. Looking at these guys, though, they still have quite a few lap cars to go through. I mean, they're starting to get into some lead lap cars. Right now, they're going around the 11 of Heather Patrick. Patrick runs 9th, the last car on the lead lap, so Patrick, you're seeing, give a little bit of an extra fight here. But Patrick looks like this time they will lose ground to the leader. And Patrick goes 1 lap down, so now 8 cars up on the lead lap, as we will see if Luke Turpin can maybe make his way around Tyler Jalbert. Turpin's been looking good these last few laps. Just really hasn't been able to find a way around that 04 of Tyler Jalbert right now. Must be a very frustrating situation for Luke Turpin, as he's used to leading these things. Running 3rd right now, though, is Jalbert and Varney. I wouldn't say they've been quicker than Turpin. Turpin's been hanging with them all race. But Varney and Jalbert certainly proved to be contenders in this race, and it's certainly shown today that it's not just going to be the Luke Turpin show. Not by any stretch of the imagination from what we've seen so far. Looking around for maybe some changes in position, we do have a pretty good battle still going on through 11th through about 14th. Those cars all still under a blanket. Rondoletto runs right in the tire tracks right now of Ben Eaton of that 2 car for 12th spot. Right in the mix is the lap car 2 of Nick Ramsey. Ramsey runs right on the bumper of Marty Zakala. Ramsey, though, 2 laps down. Rondoletto gets underneath the 2 car. Rondoletto goes around right in front of some of the leaders. Caution is going to fly on the speedway. And Kenny Tripp actually got pretty hard into the wall there. Not sure if Kenny Tripp's car is going to be damaged too much. We'll have to check in with Higgins in a minute. But caution is out onto the speedway. And we'll have to see what happened there. But it all started with Octavio Rondoletto and Ben Eaton. As the replay goes up, looks like Octavio Rondoletto and Ben Eaton were racing side by side. It looks like Ben Eaton maybe just didn't realize the 77 had the nose inside, and Eaton came right down across him. So that's what brought out the caution, as you see it there. Also getting collected was William Karp and Kenny Tripp, who were pretty much just innocent bystanders. Really had nothing to do with that. And we are under caution here once again. So we're going to try to catch a word with one of the cars involved in that. Let's get word with Ben Eaton and see what he has to say about the whole incident. All right, Ben Eaton, it's PD up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, go ahead, PD.
Well, Ben, looks like you were involved in that accident there. You had a better view of it than I did. Tell me what happened.
Just hot racing, dude. I mean, we're battling here, and it's hard to get a drive off on the bottom here. And I was just trying to hold them as tight as I could to hold the position. It's racing deal.
A 10-4, Ben. Well, so far, you're running pretty good, man. The car's up in 12th. It's looking like you have a really strong car. Tell me, how do you feel about your chances of maybe getting a good run here today?
I feel good about having a good run. I don't expect much more than that. This track's different. Very different. I got probably 1,500 laps this week here, and it's not getting any better.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ben, watching last week how Brandon Varney was able to put your car in a victory lane, that must have been uplifting for the whole team.
Oh, yeah. It was. I mean, the kid's a wheelman, even in real life. I mean, he puts on the show every week. Doesn't matter what he drives. And it was a pleasure to have him in my ride, and it was awesome to spot for him.
All right, well, Ben, we'll let you catch up with the team, man. Best of luck moving forward in this race. Hopefully we can talk to you again afterwards.
Appreciate it, dude.
All right, that was Ben Eaton, driver of the number 2 machine, as he has kept that car out there in decent shape so far. We're going to take a 30-second timeout here on lap 122 for station identification. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to XCAL Racing on Telesign TV. Welcome back, my friend, to Telesign TV, the home of XCAL Racing. We are under our third caution of the evening here on lap 123 of 350 as these cars pace around the track. I'll update you on where everyone is running. Currently sitting in first place after pit stops is going to be Luke Turpin. Second will be Brandon Varney. Third will be Tyler Jalbert. Fourth will be John Schwartz. Fifth will be Greg Holes. Sixth will be the 44 of Pedro Jose Luis Bywans. Seventh will be Kenny Tripp. Eighth will be Mark Royce. Ninth will be William Karp. And 10th will be Jeremy Leto. Last car on the lead lap and 11th will be Cody Jones. As we have 11 cars on the lead lap. Still, though, 12th through 14th are one lap down. That is Marty Zakala, Octavio Rondoletto, and Ben Eaton. And then 15th through 18th is 2 laps down, and then it starts to fall off there a little bit. We still do have, I believe, 29 cars out on the racetrack turning laps, trying to keep those machines out there competitively, as we've had a pretty good start to this one so far. Running a couple caution laps here just to get everyone sorted out. Update on Paul Coleman. We're still waiting on Paul as he is trying to get home in time. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. So we actually, as you know, Higgins the XCAL Superfan's riding with Kenny the Jet Tripp, or Kenny the Helmet Tripp, and as Kenny actually hit the wall a little bit in the accident there, we actually had a live in-car audio of Higgins the XCAL Superfan while Kenny was involved in this accident. Here's the clip for you.
So, yeah, Kenny, like I was saying, pretty much anything I can pretty much find it for you. What the fuck? My beer! Kenny, you made me spill my beer, man! What the fuck, dude? Come on! Keep it straight, man! I only have, like, all of these left. Please don't make me spill anymore.
Alright, now is the in-car audio with Higgins the XCAL Superfan as Kenny the Tripp hit the wall in that caution. Here we go off turn 4, and green flag is in the air, and Ryan Soper is actually the lead car. Ryan Soper did not get waved around the pace car, and Ryan Soper had to stay in that position, so that gave an advantage to Brandon Varney on the high side. Varney now races side by side with Turpin. Turpin not giving up, though. Turpin has the inside of the racetrack. Let's see what he can do with it here. Turpin through 3 and 4. Will that car stick? It will not. Varney gets the hot run down the front stretch, and Varney takes the lead into 1 and 2. So Varney moves into the top spot now. Turpin back to second, although he has the nose in still a little bit there on Varney, and Turpin pulls right back up with him. Great battling here for the top spot, and Luke Turpin, he is going to take the lead momentarily, but Varney gets that good run off the corner again. Varney doing a fine job wheeling that car around the high side. Tyler Jalbert all over the bumper right now of Luke Turpin. Phenomenal racing here from the Concord Speedway. Oh, Varney gets loose. He gets into the door of Turpin. Varney slides up the racetrack. Turpin slides up the racetrack. Tyler Jalbert takes the lead. Here comes Schwartz for third. John Schwartz, first time we've really mentioned his name. He drives that car up under Brandon Varney. John Schwartz in the 01 machine battles for third position. They go side by side. Schwartz on the low side, high side Brandon Varney, and John Schwartz move him up into third. So Schwartz, highest he's ran all night as he's on the podium. And Schwartz is one of these cars. He was looking pretty strong in the heat races. He had a car that was capable of going up there competing for wins. Couldn't quite put the whole heat race together. But that's a car that certainly had some speed. And here as we get later in the going in this race, he is starting to show something here for the leaders. They go side by side for the top spot. And the 454 of Luke Turpin gets underneath the 04. The 04 of Jalbert able to hold on for the time being. The 1 of Brandon Varney, though, still all over the back bumper of John Schwartz. 4-way battle for the lead right now. Great racing from the Concord Speedway, as we've had great racing all night. No one has really been able to open up that big of a lead. It's been close here all evening long. And Luke Turpin right on the bumper of Tyler Jalbert. Really doing a good job, though, leading the most laps in this race so far. Got the pole, pretty much led every lap of this race in the first 100. Lost the lead for a little bit to his teammate Varney, but here we go in the lead again as Luke Turpin peeks to the inside. Nothing there for Luke, but Jalbert gets loose. And he's going to hang on to it as they're side by side for third behind them, and Varney on the high side. Varney will prevail, so move Varney up to third spot. Back and forth will now be Schwartz, as here we go for the lead once again, though. Luke Turpin all over the back bumper of Tyler Jalbert, but Jalbert just does a good job getting that car off the corner. And I'll tell you what, this is not an easy track to drive, not an easy track to race on either. Going side by side here is complicated, and there's not really a better line. Sometimes you can get a good run off that bottom side and beat the guy on the inside lane. Sometimes you just keep the car really stuck to the high side, though, and you pedal on the outside. This is a track where you can really race on either line, and so far tonight it has led to some fantastic racing. I mean, some of the best we've seen in XCAL all season long. Is Tyler Jalbert showing the way around. They go around the lap car now of Ryan Soper. Pud gets out of the way. Pud currently running in 18th, now 3 laps down. The final car in our top 5 right now, by the way, is Greg Holes. Holes 5th place, about 3 seconds behind our leaders as we see the top 4 all under a blanket right now, although it does look like they're starting to walk a little bit away from John Schwartz in the 0-1, so Schwartz is going to have to be mired in 4th for the time being. Battle up front again. Luke Turpin gets the nose inside of Tyler Jalbert. Turpin slides up a little bit, gets into the door of Jalbert as they go side by side for the top spot. Derek Coulson has had an incident in front of them, and they both get single file to go by the Coulson 5. Tough break there for Coulson, who's having a rough night already. Coulson runs in 26th, 14 laps down. And Coulson almost gets into the one of Barney there, though. He keeps the machine running, and looks like our leaders are starting to get in some pretty heavy lap traffic. They are quickly coming up on the 062 of Johnny B, the 37 of Art Hendren, the 99 of Tyler McRae. Looks like also the 84 of Jeremy Leto. Jeremy Leto, by the way, having a great run so far, up in 11th in that Ryan Soper racing car. Jeremy Leto, kind of our story of the week here. He was released last week by RKR Racing. He's had some poor performances over the last couple months. He got disqualified from a couple races, has been collecting a lot of wrecks, really hasn't been performing up to snuff, and RKR Racing, they plan on winning the team championship in 2021. They told Jeremy that they'll keep in mind for a sub-driver, but they felt they needed to make an upgrade if they wanted to compete for the championship. And Leto showed up to the racetrack this week with no ride. He was just walking around the garage area, talking to different teams, maybe seeing if someone would give him an offer to drive their race car. He didn't have any luck. That was, however, until late in the race week. I believe it was about Sunday, as that was the last day of practice. The driver of the 84, Aiden McConaughey, he told Ryan Soper, his team owner, he was not going to be here for the race this week. So Ryan Soper was panicking. He's like, well, we prepared this car for you to race this week, man. What do you mean? And he went around looking for a driver, and Jeremy Leto just happened to be down in the garage area, and he ran into Ryan Soper. And Soper asked him if he'd want to drive the 84 car this week, and he agreed. Those two teams do have a history, actually. Leto drove a Soper car 2 times before, one of those being at Michigan, where he almost won a heat race, and he got a top 10 in the feature event. And so far tonight, Jeremy Leto, after losing his ride last week, filling in for Aiden McConaughey, running up in 11th right now. Great run for him. He's hoping to maybe turn this deal with Ryan Soper Racing into a full-time deal for 2021, but nothing official yet, but a good start here as he's currently the highest running Ryan Soper Racing car on the racetrack. Looking back to the field a little bit, Tyler Jalbert has opened up a tiny gap over Luke Turpin. I mean, it's not much, but he has opened up maybe about half a second. That's about another half second back to the one of Brandon Varney. Schwartz has fallen off a little bit in 4th. He's about 2 seconds behind the leader. 5th is still safely Greg Holes. 6th place right now is going to be Pedro Bywan. 7th, Mark Royce. 8th, William Karp. 9th, Kenny Tripp, and 10th, Cody Jones. First time we've mentioned Jones' name tonight. A good run for the 06 of Jones up in the top 10 right now. Started in 22nd. Hadn't been running that great up to this point in the race, but sitting in the top 10 right now would be a good run for the 06 team as we get closer and closer to the halfway mark in this thing. Jalbert is starting to pull a little bit of ground between him and Luke Turpin. Every lap, Jalbert's maybe 51 thousandths quicker than Luke Turpin. So Jalbert has been able to open up a little bit of a gap, but as they start getting the lap traffic, I'm sure it'll become more and more difficult as he's getting now up in the lead lap cars. That's the 84 of Jeremy Leto in 11th, who's the last car in the lead lap right now. That's right in front of our leader, Tyler Jalbert. And in front of them is Jeff Edgar, who runs in 22nd, 4 laps down right now, and the 2 car of Ben Eaton, 1 lap down in 14th. So here we go. Jalbert goes to the inside now of Leto, and he's going to put Leto 1 lap down. Turpin following suit right behind him, and Turpin is right back up on the bumper of the 04 of Jalbert. They have opened up some ground on Brandon Varney, but Luke Turpin's right back up there for the lead. Here they go to the inside now as though, oh my goodness, they get 3 wide and the 53 is going to go around. He doesn't save it. He gets into the wall. The 53 car of Tyler Batchelder in 21st, though, does keep it facing the right way. No caution will fly. So caution stays off the racetrack. And Luke Turpin still trying to find his way back around the 04 of Tyler Jalbert. Heavy lap traffic now for the 1 of Brandon Varney. He cannot get around the 84 of Jeremy Leto. Now John Schwartz is actually caught right back up to the 1, and as contact is made between Leto and Varney there, Varney gets back to the inside. Leto on the high side will get out of the way, so Leto gets out of the way. And Varney up to the 3rd spot, but Schwartz right back up on his bumper. So good battle for 3rd. Good battle for the lead as Luke Turpin's not making life easy right now on Tyler Jalbert. A dominant showing so far for the 04 team. But as we get closer to the halfway point, that 454 of Turpin's looking better and better as the race goes on. One of the bigger stories this week, actually, is with Luke Turpin. The 454 team of Luke Turpin, and it's been a secret all year long. Who's Luke Turpin going to sign with? Is he going to go with K2 Racing? Is he going to go with my team, Big Block Motorsports? Is he going to sign with RKR? Nope, he signed with Rolling Thunder Racing. As he peeks to the inside of Tyler Jalbert for the lead, there's nothing there. But he is signed with Rolling Thunder Racing with Aaron Hilbush, the league president's team. And he is also going to be teammates along with Greg Holes, who currently runs in 5th, and a 3rd driver who is yet to be announced. So Turpin's team has been officially announced for 2021, as Luke Turpin will race for Rolling Thunder Racing. And right now he races for the win, as he is right up the bumper of Tyler Jalbert for that top spot. No real battles on the racetrack. Maybe when you get back to about 6th, you have Mark Royce and William Karp in the middle of the battle. William Karp is right on the back bumper right now of that number 50 machine. Karp's had a quiet good run today. He's kept that car up near about 6th, 7th place for the entirety of this race. Karp has certainly done a good job of keeping that thing clean and keeping it competitive. Behind them, Kenny Tripp does run an 8th, and it looks like Tripp might start to make some ground up on him. Here we go, Karp to the inside. Karp gets the nose in, and he goes underneath Mark Royce, and it was that simple. William Karp now up to 6th position, so Karp's knocking on the door of the top 5, and a good run for Big Block Motorsports so far. John Schwartz up in 5th, William Karp is in 6th, Clinus LaBeouf in 19th right now, not the greatest run for LaBeouf. For the rest of those guys, they're really doing a good job strutting their stuff, racing well here early on. As our leaders looking like they're in a mess of lap traffic right now. I saw Heather Patrick getting to the wall in front of them. The leader, Tyler Jalbert, now underneath the 52 of Marty Zakala, who's 1 lap down. Heather Patrick right in front of them, making it wide. Turpin peeks to the inside. Turpin making life stressful right now on the 04 of Tyler Jalbert. I don't know if he actually intended to make a move there, but he definitely threatened it. As the 04 gets really close with the 11 car there. They almost make contact as they go up the racetrack. It is going to be, though, Turpin losing some time to Tyler Jalbert as they make their way around lap traffic. Still a lot of cars to get around. They're now up on Stephen Rex again. And if you remember last time, Stephen Rex did not make life easy on the 04 of Tyler Jalbert. We'll have to see if it goes a little easier this time, but maybe not. Although maybe so, because Rex is now 5 laps down. So as he continues to lose ground to the leaders, maybe he'll be a little more respectful this time and just get out the way. We have had someone have an issue that was running up front. I'm not sure who it was. We have had Jeremy Leto move into 10th. Up to 9th now is Cody Jones. As we have a car going around. The 53 car has spun. The 53 of Tyler Batchelder's on its lid now, and we will see what happens there. As Jeremy Leto has had some sort of an issue too. Jeremy Leto was up in 10th, and Jeremy Leto spun coming onto the pits, it looks like. Not sure what happened there. And Jeremy Leto looks like he was trying to make, maybe wasn't trying to make a pit stop. Leto just spun kind of down into the pit lane. And a big issue there for Leto is he was running up in the top 10. He is going to lose a mess of spots now, so Leto is going to go back to 16th. And a couple drivers losing positions here. I'm not sure what happened. Looks like Pedro Bywans has also had something happen. And change in the top 10 now, that means. Kenny Tripp has just gotten around Mark Royce for 7th, so Royce is back to 8th. Cody Jones is now up to 9th, and Octavio Rondoletto is up to 10th. And 11th right now is going to be Marty Zakala. 12th will be Nick Ramsey. 13th, Alex Gangler. 14th, Bywans, and 15th, Patrick. As we still have some good battles going on the racetrack, it would appear as though the top 4 are getting close once again. The 04 of Tyler Jalbert and Luke Turpin have started to get caught a little bit by Brandon Varney and John Schwartz. Schwartz and Varney have done a good job not letting the leaders get too far away from them, have maintained about a 2-second gap for the last few laps or so. As they're in heavy lap traffic, I mean, anything could happen here any moment as they get right up in this. The 454 peaks to the inside again, nothing doing there. Pedro Bione's fighting not to go 3 laps down. 3 laps is kind of that threshold. Once you go 3 laps down, it's really hard to come back from that in a race, and Bione's knows it, although he gets up out of the groove, and the 04 of Tyler Jalbert gets to his inside. Jalbert puts him a lap down, so Bione's now is going to be shuffled back a spot once again, although Bione's fighting back on the outside. Bione's not going down without a fight here, but it's going to be Bione's ultimately losing the ground there to our top 2, as Turpin's gotten around Bione's, and now Bione's and Varney make a little bit of contact. Varney hangs on to it. Varney gets to the inside of Bione's now, and Varney cuts off Bione's, as Varney is going to put that car hopefully up towards the leaders a little bit more, as we want to see a 3-way battle for this thing. The 04 of Jalbert runs right on the bumper of Steve Rex. Rex looking like he does not want to get out of the way, though, so the bumper may have to be used for the 04 machine if he wants to get around the number 28. We will see as he works his way through this lap car. Lap traffic has not been as friendly as it could be so far. That's all we have to say for sure. The leaders have had a lot of trouble getting around lap traffic. Here we go to the inside, goes Tyler Jalbert as Steven Rex does finally make way. Top 2 still under a blanket. Rex gets out of the way. Now our top 2 have some clean racetrack in front of them. This time by the flag stand, Turpin peeks to the inside again. Turpin has a run, halfway down, halfway to go, and Luke Turpin makes a move for the lead at the halfway point. Turpin bumps the 04, the 04 gets into the wall, and Luke Turpin takes over the lead. Luke Turpin to the top spot now, and he has opened up ground on Tyler Jalbert. Jalbert drives it in deep, but it will not stick. We are going to take a 30-second timeout here at the halfway point. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back with what promises to be some exciting action on Telesign TV. Welcome back live here to Telesign TV. Green flag pit stops have started to take place. The 01 of John Schwartz pitted from 4th position. Up front, though, the battle for the lead's not over. The 04 of Tyler Jalbert all over Luke Turpin. Let's not forget contact was made between these 2 cars a couple laps ago. Let's see if more contact ensues. The 04 of Jalbert all over Luke right now. They go into 3 and 4. Jalbert running right up the tailpipes, that 454. All night long, guys get the lead, and then they just cannot pull away, and we're seeing it once again. Jalbert now right up the tailpipes of the 454. I mean, he is all over him. They have about a 1-second advantage over Brandon Varney in 3rd. Octavio Rondoletto's brought that car down pit road, as has Mark Royce, and a slew of other cars also making their way down in the pits. None of our top 3, though, have yet to make that hard left-hand turn, as it looks like these guys are in it for the long haul here, trying to maximize fuel strategy. And it looks like we had another car come down pit road. Jalbert, though, running right in the tire tracks of Luke Turpin here, just past halfway. And you know Jalbert wants to reclaim that lead. He has led this thing for so long tonight. He has really looked like the man here at Concord. But in this little stretch here, Luke Turpin's flexing a little bit of muscle, you know. Luke Turpin's reminding everyone who Luke Turpin is. And as that car continues to show the way around the racetrack, I think the reminder is in tow here, as he is really doing a good job. So our top 5, Turpin, Jalbert, Varney, Holes is up to 4th now, and Tripp is now up to 5th. 6th is Carp, 7th is Jones, and 8th is now Zakala, 9th is Nick Ramsey, and 10th is Pedro Bione's. As the lap car of Octavio Rondoletto on fresh tires now makes his way around Tyler Jalbert, and he's going to look to make his way around Luke Turpin as well. 77 peaks to the inside, nothing doing there. Luke Turpin looking to put the last car on the lead lap. Cody Jones 1 lap down, and he will. Here comes Rondoletto now to the inside of Turpin. Rondoletto peeks in there, and Rondoletto will take his lap back as, the 04 of Jalbert gets into Jones. He puts Jones up the racetrack. Jones is able to hang on to it, but Jalbert now right back up to the bumper of Luke Turpin. And Jalbert, this battle is on once again for this top spot. These guys just cannot get away from each other here, as Turpin got to be getting pretty close to the fuel window, I would say. I would guess probably within the next 15 laps for everyone. I'm not sure how long they can stretch it, but it has been about 60-70 laps since we've seen him last pit, and I believe the fuel window was about 80, maybe 85 laps this week. So these guys getting close to what they can do. As it looks like we have had Cody Jones come down pit road now, so our 7th place runner has come down. Looking around, seeing if anyone else has come down yet. And caution's out on the speedway. Caution is out on the speedway for the 5th time tonight. We have had the 61 of Greg Holes go around, along with Jeremy Leto, who a great night for him has just gone south. Looks like it started with Holes, though. We'll have to see what happened. And the replay is up, and here's what happened. It looks like the 2 car and the 01 were racing side by side. Maybe the 01 stuck his nose in a little late. The 2 came down, slipped up in front of the 61. The 61, trying to miss it, just got ran over by the 84 of Leto. And that brought out caution on the speedway. So caution is out for the, I believe, 4th or 5th time tonight here on lap 189. As a tough break there between Greg Holes and Jeremy Leto. We're going to try to hear what happened there with Greg Holes after his pit stop. We're going to let him come down the pits first and get the car serviced and taken care of. As we'll probably see all the leaders come down and get their cars serviced and taken care of. Only 5 guys running on the lead lap. Luke Turpin and Tyler Jalbert both out there on the lead lap. We had an epic race off pit road, and Tyler Jalbert barely beat Luke Turpin. I mean by maybe an inch. Luke Turpin got that one off of pit, or Tyler Jalbert, and no, they're giving it to Luke Turpin. Luke Turpin got it by maybe about an inch off of pit road. That was epically close as they raced to the finish line on pit road rather there. When things cycle through, though, Brandon Varney is going to be the leader. 2nd place is going to be Kenny Tripp. 3rd is going to be Turpin. 4th, Jalbert. And 5th will be William Karp. And there's only going to be 5 cars in the lead lap. 6th place is going to be Greg Holes. 7th, Nick Ramsey. 8th, Marty Zakala. 9th, John Schwartz. And 10th will be that'll be Mark Royce, excuse me, in 10th. So we're going to catch a quick word here with Greg Holes. And Greg, it's PD up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy? Greg, you read me?
Yeah, I got you. It's hard to hear with him talking.
Oh, I apologize, Greg. I just wanted to ask you, you were involved in that yellow there, my friend. What happened to you?
I don't really know. I was in the middle of lap cars, got into one. Someone got into the back of me, got spun, that's all.
10-4. Well, Greg, you've been running up near the top 5 all race. And it looks like a really good run for you with your new team so far. How's the car felt out there tonight?
Feels great. Just by looking at tire wears, I've been pretty good, so I'm not terrible.
All right, well, 10-4, Greg. We'll let you catch back up with your team. Best of luck to you tonight. Hopefully we get a chance to talk to you after the race.
Yeah, thank you. I want to wish my wife a happy anniversary.
That's Greg Holes, driver of the number 61, doing a good job there, probably making his wife happy with the shout-out. We're going to take a 30-second timeout for station identification. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back on Telesign TV. Welcome back, my friend. You are tuned in to Telesign TV for the absolutely XCAL Racing 350 from the Concord Speedway. Here's how things have shaken down. First place is Luke Turpin, 2nd place is Brandon Varney, 3rd place is Tyler Jalbert, and 4th place is Kenny Tripp. That's it. There's 4 cars in the lead lap. 5th place, 1 lap down is William Karp. 6th place, 2 laps down is Nick Ramsey. John Schwartz is in 7th. 8th is Mark Royce. 9th is Cody Jones, and 10th is Clinus LaBeouf. And also 11th, Greg Holes is just 2 laps down. In 12th, 3 laps down, is Marty Zakala. And then 13th is Ryan Soper, 14th Heather Patrick, 15th Ben Eaton, 16th Alex Gangler, 17th Pedro Bywans, 18th Jordan Babinger, 19th Jeff Edgar, and 20th Stephen Rex. Those are your top 20, all various laps down. The pace car makes the hard left-hand turn. The field is at the mercy of Luke Turpin. They bring it down into corners number 3 and 4, and Luke Turpin's going to get the car up off the corner. Here they come down to the restart zone, and green flag in the air. They're down and away, and Luke Turpin on the inside gets a good run. He goes side by side with Varney. Varney's able to make the car stick up there for a minute, though. Let's see if Varney can challenge for the lead. He cannot. Jalbert comes now to the inside of the one car of Varney. Jalbert giving a good challenge there. Jalbert really has been the car to beat on fresh tires today, I will say. As the run gets longer, Turpin really gets even with the 04. But when we're right out of the pits, that 04 has been pretty stout all night. Let's see what happens here as he's going to try to catch up to the leader. We do have a little battling going on back here between Ben Eaton and Ryan Soper. That's for about 13th position. As these cars are all scattered around the track, it's hard to keep an eye on which battles are going on where. Has everyone's various laps down, running in their own positions. Nick Ramsey has just gotten around John Schwartz for 6th, so I'll move Ramsey up one more spot. Good job so far here for Nick Ramsey, keeping that car up near the top 6. He had an issue earlier in this race, but a nice recovery for Nick nonetheless, is staying out there, being resilient. Looks like 8th is right up there on John Schwartz. The battle for 7th and 8th is about to be going down here in a moment as Mark Royce is caught right up to John Schwartz. We'll have to see what Royce can do when he gets to the bumper of the 0-1, if maybe he can make a challenge. 9th place right now is currently Cody Jones, and then in 10th we have Aquinas LaBeouf. Highest I've seen LaBeouf run pretty much all night, so LaBeouf, after starting in 30th, has driven that car up into the top 10 for the time being. A good run so far for Aquinas as he sits position number 10. As though the 61 of Greg Holes has a moment back out there. It looks like the 57 car has come back out onto the racetrack, the 57 of Alex Hallinar. Remember, he has some beef going on with Stephen Rex. He was not happy with the 28 at all. He's 129 laps down and 31st with a ton of damage on that 57. Let's see if Hallinar maybe is looking for blood here or something like that. The 57 car, though, back out onto the racetrack. The battle for 2nd and 3rd is still kind of heated. Jalbert is all over Varney right now, those two. Doing some dueling up there. As I'm trying to keep an eye on some of these other battles, it looks like John Schwartz has pulled a little bit of a gap now between him and Mark Royce. Mark Royce seems to firmly be in that spot. And there was going to be a battle for 9th and 10th, but lap traffic has kind of messed that up, and Cody Jones has opened up a bigger gap on Aquinas LaBeouf once again. 4th place right now, Kenny Tripp, the last car in the lead lap. He had to restart behind a mess of lap cars, so he's about 10 seconds behind the leader. Tripp, though, his lap times have not been that far off, and he did win his heat race. So, I mean, the Tripp car we know has quite a bit of speed in it this week. We'll just have to see if maybe a caution can fall Kenny's way and he can get caught back up to these leaders, because tonight it really feels like he has been fighting from behind. He just has not had the easiest run of things as he's trying to get that machine back up front. Turpin, though, still continues to lead. He has about a second advantage right now over Tyler Jalbert. Jalbert's been a little quicker by the flag stand the last few times by, but not enough to really make a difference. And here we go. 10th place, Aquinas LaBeouf brings the car down pit road. Not sure what happened there to LaBeouf. Maybe he stayed out to get a lap back and then had to pit real quick and get some fuel in it. So a tough break there for LaBeouf, as that kind of kills the one close battle we had going on the racetrack right about now. It was starting to get kind of tight there for 9th and 10th, but LaBeouf pitting kind of ends that. What that does do, though, is it moves Greg Holes in the 61, now up in the top 10. And I'm really curious to see what that 57 of Hallinar is going to do. You know, whenever you come back onto the racetrack 129 laps down, yes, there are some positions to be made up there for Hallinar. If he runs 10 laps, he's going to move up from 31st to about 28th. But still, it's just kind of like, are you really out there to get those 4 positions back at the bottom of the field? Or are you out there because you remember that Stephen Rex gave you the bumper and you're not too happy about it? Caution's out on the speedway. Well, another caution is flown here from the Concord Speedway. We'll have to see what happens. It is the leaders. There is something that has happened up front. It has involved Luke Turpin, and I see all the leaders involved in it heavily. So we're going to have to see what happened here as we get the replay up. It started with Luke Turpin and Tyler Batchelder. The replay is up, and it looks like Luke Turpin was going around the lap car of Tyler Batchelder. Batchelder just slid up the racetrack a little bit, got to Turpin, then Turpin got drilled by Tyler Jalbert, and Brandon Varney looks like he was able to make it through successfully. Oh, but then afterwards, Johnny B, Ben Eaton, and Nick Ramsey all got collected in it. Not sure what happened there, but the Turpin car looks really messed up. He hit that wall hard. And Luke Turpin's bringing that machine down pit road. We'll have to see what he does there, but caution is out on the speedway. Something happened there between Luke Turpin and Tyler Batchelder. An unfortunate break. Also, Tyler Jalbert has to come down pit road with excessive damage. Brandon Varney comes down as well, maybe just top it off on fuel. What this is going to do is it's going to allow a lot of these guys to get their laps back. So we'll have to see what happens as Tyler Batchelder gets the black flag. We're going to take a 30-second timeout for station identification and try to figure out what happened. We'll be back in one moment. We are back here live on Telesign TV, my friend, the home of XCAL Racing, and we're going to try to catch a quick word with Tyler Batchelder, who was involved in that caution, as here we go. Actually, that's the wrong radio channel, my bad. I'm always catching the wrong radio channel. There's the right one. And Tyler Batchelder, it's PDJ Zeller up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Well, Tyler, you were involved right there where that caution came out. Can you just tell us what happened from your perspective? Looked really close there.
He was coming out of turn 3 and tried saving it, and going into turn 1 it just pushed up the track into it. I hate to take out the leaders, but I feel bad for Luke.
Obviously an unfortunate break there, but Tyler, for you, looks like you've had a pretty quick car tonight, and things just have not gone your way. Where do you feel like this night has really gone awry from you? Because before you've had troubles, you were running up near the top 10.
Yeah, I pitted and ended up in an unsafe pit exit somehow. I don't understand. Ended up falling down from there.
10-4. Well, Tyler, thank you for taking the time to talk with us, and hopefully you can keep the car out there and get a good run today.
Thanks.
All right, that was Tyler Batchelder, driver of the number 53 machine, as we got a word with him. So here's the updated running order when we get things restarted. Tyler Jalbert, he is in the pits with heavy damage. That car has gone 3 laps down. He's out of it. Luke Turpin, driver of the 454, he is in the pit with heavy damage. That car is still getting repaired. He is pretty much out of it, the 454 of Luke Turpin. What that does is it shuffles Brandon Varney now into the lead. Second's going to be Kenny Tripp. Third place, the last car in the lead lap, is going to be William Karp. Up to fourth now is John Schwartz. Fifth now is going to be Nick Ramsey. Sixth is Cody Jones. Seventh is Mark Royce. Eighth is Marty Zakala. Ninth is Greg Holes. And 10th is Ryan Soper. As this race has really taken a turn here as Luke Turpin and Tyler Jalbert get heavy damage from the wrecking lap car of Tyler Batchelder. And it is unfortunate what happened there between the leaders, as it really looked like it was shaping up to be a great battle for this thing between Tyler Batchelder and, between Tyler Jalbert and Luke Turpin. But now both those cars sit on pit road, and just has to be a frustrating way for what promised to be such a good evening for both those drivers. As we have the pace car still doubling everyone up. And we're getting ready to go back green here in a moment. Before we do go back green, now that I know that Tyler Jalbert's night is pretty much done, I would like to get a quick word with him and just hear what he has to say, as we're going to try to tune in his radio here as we get close to getting this thing restarted. And, all right, I think I have the right radio. And Tyler Jalbert, we got a radio on you down at the Infield Care Center. You got a copy? I think we're having some technical difficulties right now on the radio connection between us and Tyler Jalbert. Tyler, you got a copy? And it looks like there is some sort of technical difficulty in the connection between us and Tyler Jalbert down at the Infield Care Center. Nonetheless, we get things restarted. Green flag in the air, and Brandon Varney with a nice jump in front of Kenny Tripp. Tripp now peeks to the outside. There's just nothing doing there, and Tripp will slide in the line in a second. We haven't seen Tripp run this high all night. We'll have to see if he has anything for his nephew, Varney. A lot of family ties going on up front right now, though. Kenny Tripp, as I just mentioned, the uncle of that one car. So here we go. Pedro By-Ones drives it down below side of Kenny Tripp. Tripp's going to hang on to it on the high side. But Varney right now getting the best of his uncle as he keeps that car out in front. And the 12 car, Kenny Tripp's going to have to slide in line behind the lap car. That's 13th place, Pedro By-Ones, who sits 5 laps down right now. Also behind him is the 14th place car, Alex Gangler, who also runs 5 laps down. 1 lap down is John Schwartz in the 0-1. He's in a battle right now with Nick Ramsey for 4th. Ramsey is all over his rear bumper. The 0-1 and 34 about to do battle for 4th and 5th. And then only one other car just 1 laps down. That's 6th place, Cody Jones. Outside of that, rough night for pretty much everyone else. 2 guys are 2 laps down, Marty Zakala and Greg Holes. And then 9th place, Ryan Soper's 3 laps down. 10th place, Mark Royce is 3 laps down. And you got to feel for Royce. If he didn't get trapped laps down, with the issues we've seen Turpin and now Jalbert have, he might have been in contention over this thing. We do not know. But Turpin and Jalbert, both 10 laps down, still getting those cars fixed. As now it is 34 of Nick Ramsey, moving up to 4th position over John Schwartz. Nice pass there. Schwartz looking to pull off the crossover, just nothing really doing there. So Schwartz is able to keep the car in line for the time being, and he's just going to slide into 5th and ride it out. He has a pretty big lead over 6th place Cody Jones right now. As we go back up towards the front, though, Kenny Tripp has started to reel in Brandon Varney a little bit, and they do have room to race. They might be teammates, and they might be family, and they might want to keep things going the same way, but they are really the only 2 cars in the lead lap. Well, there are 3 cars in the lead lap. William Karp is 2.5 seconds behind them in 3rd, but really they can race as hard as they want, and they only risk 1 other car getting tied into this battle, so kind of a lot of freedom here right now for Kenny Tripp and Brandon Varney as they run 1-2 pretty much uncontested right now. Strategy has got them a pretty big lead over the field. As the lap car Pedro By-Ones, I believe on maybe fresher tires, has gotten back around them. So By-Ones just 4 laps down in 13th right now. A top 10 not out of the question today for him. And we do have the 04 of Tyler Jalbert has returned to the racetrack. So the 04 gets back out there. However, he is in 22nd, 14 laps down. As Luke Turpin still sits on pit road. He has some time to go before that car gets back out there. So we'll have to see if Luke can even get it back out there. I saw Jeremy Leto go into the wall. Him and Derek Colson just had an issue. The 5 car of Colson got into Leto a little bit. Leto has moved that car back into 20th, so he's back into a top 20 position. A decent run for the Ryan Soper Racing number 84 so far. Talking about decent runs, though, Marty Zakala up in 7th right now. He's ran a few start and park races, but in his first career full XCAL start, he finished 9th at Oxford. And right now he runs 7th at Concord. And the Zakala 52 team, they keep pulling out good runs here in these XCAL events. You know, Zakala might really start finding himself up near the top 10 in points if he can get some good runs. We'll have to see how 2021 starts out for him, but consistency has been the key here for Zakala in the 52. Up front, the battle hasn't changed much. Kenny Tripp still right on the bumper. Brandon Varney. Varney not able to open up any ground whatsoever. As Varney, he's trying to pull away. You can see he's driving that car as hard as he can, but Tripp might have just saved his stuff wisely. Tripp, the winner of heat race number 1, has really not been up front all night. He's been near the top 5, but as far as racing for the lead goes, he wasn't up there with Turpin and Jalbert and Varney battling with those guys. He's been saving that car. And here late in the going, he has a car under him, that's for sure. And he is right there in this thing with Brandon Varney, as they are running right behind the lap car right now of Pedro By-Ones. Trying to find some other battles going on the racetrack. Ramsey has opened up a little gap between him and Schwartz for 4th and 5th, although Schwartz is really not letting him get too far away. Schwartz hanging with there with Ramsey. You know, Schwartz gets into Ramsey a little bit. Ramsey's going to hang on to it, so they'll continue to battle. As trying to find where the battle's going on. Oh, we have a wrecked car. We have a huge wreck as Greg Holes. That car is absolutely destroyed from the 8th position. And it looks like he made contact with the 57 of Alex Hallinar. And it looks like Hallinar was side by side with the number 28 of Steven Rex. So I'm not sure if Hallinar was maybe trying to get back at Steven and Greg Holes got collected in that somehow. Now we have Jeremy Leto around on the front stretch. Oh, caution is going to fly as Jeremy Leto made an evasive move to get that car back going. A dangerous spot for that, but nonetheless, caution will fly. So Jeremy Leto has gone around and he brought out the caution. And we'll have to see if it was him or if something else brought out that yellow. We will see what happened there in just one moment. That'll be nice because that will get 3 more cars back onto the lead lap. At least it should, with Nick Ramsey, John Schwartz, and Cody Jones. And the replay is live as Jeremy Leto looks like he was running in 20th position. And he was coming up on the wrecked car at holes. Looks like he tried to miss holes, and that car just got a little loose and he spun around. So that's what brought out the caution, as Leto unfortunately did bring that one out, and he was given the black flag, so it was deemed to be his fault. So Jeremy Leto will have to come to the pits and serve that penalty. We are going to take a 30-second timeout for station identification. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back on XCAL Racing. Welcome back here live on Telesign TV. My name's PDJ Zeller, the voice of XCAL Racing, and we are still under caution here from the Concord Speedway. Here's your updated running orders. It looks like they haven't quite got to wave rounds yet, but I think they're going to start doing that here in one moment. So first place is going to be Kenny Tripp, second is going to be Brandon Varney, third place will be William Karp, up to fourth is going to be Nick Ramsey. He should be on the lead lap when wave rounds go through. Fifth is going to be John Schwartz. He will also be on the lead lap. Sixth will be Cody Jones, now on the lead lap. In seventh will be Marty Zakala, who's going to be 2 laps down. Eighth will be Mark Royce, 2 laps down. Ninth will be Ryan Soper, 3 laps down. And in 10th, 4 laps down will be Heather Patrick. Also 4 laps down, Jordan Babinger and Clinus LaBeouf in 11th and 12th. So, if you're 4 laps down, top 10 not out of the question here. So we're getting things all sorted out. It looks like the top 3 will be starting near each other. So Tripp, Varney, and Karp will all be starting in the first 3 spots, and then the next 3 cars that are that are on the lead lap, Ramsey, Schwartz, and Jones, they'll have to start at the tail end of the lap down cars. So as we get things sorted out, probably about 1 or 2 more caution laps here, I would imagine, as they're still figuring things out here. Let's catch a quick word with Logan Jones, see what Cody Jones, I should say, has to say. Cody, it's Petey in the booth. You got a copy?
I do got a copy, Petey.
Well, Cody, you've done a good job today keeping that car clean and near the lead lap. And here you go. Looks like you're going to be lining up on the lead lap in 6th with just over 100 laps to go. How do you feel about your run so far, Cody?
Well, I've bounced off the outside wall a couple times, mainly out of 2, honestly, which is surprising. But I'm feeling really good. Got some good speed. I might have enough fuel to make it to the end if we don't have a caution. But having a lot of fun out here, hoping to get a good top 5 at Concord.
All right, well, Cody, we'll let you catch back up with your team, but best of luck. Good run so far.
Petey, how's my right side look?
I think it's looking good.
Okay, thank you.
That was a Cody Jones, driver of the 06. I did not actually look at the right side of this car. We go down into turns 3 and 4. The 12 of Kenny Tripp has the field in tow, and green flag in the air. We're down and away. Tripp gets a good jump, but Karp on the inside. Looks like he does have the nose in on Brandon Varney. Varney drives it up off the corner, and Varney will hang on to the position for the time being. Pedro Jose Luis Baiwans racing side by side with William Karp. That's not for position, but Baiwans looking to take another lap back. He might just unlap himself with the way the cautions are falling here late in this one. Karp, though, he will get by Baiwans, and Karp now in 3rd is running right behind the top 2. Looking to the inside for the lead is Varney, as Karp gets a little bit of a tap there from Baiwans. They're going to hang on to it. There was some sort of an issue that took place towards the rear of the field. Not sure what happened. I didn't see it, so I can't really make a comment on it. I will tell you, though, that Brandon Varney has taken over the lead from Kenny Tripp. Varney got to the inside of Tripp, and Varney took over the top spot once again. As Baiwans dive bombs it underneath the 08 of William Karp there as they go down into turns 3 and 4. By Ones is gonna will get by him. That's not for position, but he will get by him there. So By Ones will get closer and closer to getting just 4 laps down rather than 5 laps down. In 4th place right now, Nick Ramsey trying to make his way around some lap cars. Ramsey would love to see another caution, so that way he restarts with these top guys. And the way this race is played out, you certainly cannot count out Ramsey at this point. Ramsey, he has had a fast car, and cautions out on the speedway, just what Ramsey and co wanted to see. As we had a huge wreck on the front stretch. The 48 of Jordan Babinger wrecked hard. We are going to have to see what happened there. I saw he was 3 wide with the Ryan Soper racing cars, so we will have to take a look at what happened. Babinger was up in 10th. Replay is up as you are seeing it now, and the 48 of Jordan Babinger was right in the middle of Jeremy Leto and Ryan Soper, and it looks like maybe he just came up a little bit in Ryan Soper and sent that car flipping down the front stretch. So tough break there, but it looks like he did land on all 4 wheels, and the car doesn't look to be too torn up. So I guess we're going to try to catch a word here with Jordan Babinger and see what he has to say about that accident, as obviously a tough one there. He's running up in 12th. Here we go. I think we are... There we go. Connecting to the channel. Jordan Babinger. It's PD up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah.
Well, Jordan, looks like you got collected in a little bit of an accident there. You were 3 wide with Ryan Soper and Jeremy Leto coming off of turn 4. Tell us what happened there.
Yeah, the car on my outside was way slow, and it looked like he started checking up maybe, so I was already committed to my line and that he was there. There's not much I could do there.
Tough break for you.
Yeah, that was tough.
I was going to say, in this race so far, you've already had quite a few tough breaks. It started out with that bad wreck there early on in the going, and it just kind of feels like you guys have been behind the 8 ball all day. Do you think without the issues that you've been plagued with today, you had a car that could compete for this thing?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, I've been, working my way ahead here in this race, and been having good luck after that first wreck I got into, and just got into that one and started rolling down the front stretch.
All right, well,
Jordan,
yeah,
definitely think we had a car to compete.
We'll let you catch up with your team, man. Best of luck to you moving forward. Glad to see the car still out there rolling, though, near the top 10.
Yeah, thanks, sir.
All right, that's Jordan Babinger, driver of the number 48 Dropping Bombs racing machine, as we put him back down there with his team. And we are under caution here with just about 100 laps to go. Here are how things are going to be running when we get things back going. Your leader is going to be the 34 of Nick Ramsey. I do believe, I'm not sure, things are sorting out right now. It's sorting out kind of funny. We're going to have to see how it does sort out. I think Ramsey is going to be the leader. 2nd place is going to be William Karp. 3rd place should be Brandon Varney. 4th is going to be Kenny Tripp. 5th is going to be John Schwartz. 6th, in the last car on the lead lap, will be Cody Jones. Now in 7th, just 1 lap down, is Marty Zakala. In 8th, 3 laps down, is Ryan Soper. In 9th, 4 laps down, is Clinus LaBeouf. And in 10th, 4 laps down, is Mark Royce. As we do have a slew of cars 4 laps down. 11th, 12th, that's Heather Patrick, Jordan Babinger, Pedro Jose Luis By Ones, and Alex Gangler, all 4 laps down up to 14th. And then we have a few guys 5 laps down, 15th, 16th, and 17th, Ben Eaton, Stephen Rex, and Jeff Edgar. And then after that, you really start to get quite a few laps down with the rest of the guys. So really, I'd say probably about 8 guys still in contention of getting like a lead lap finish out of this thing. Maybe, I mean, if you start to get 10 guys, that means we'd have 4 more cautions, and I just really don't see 4 more cautions happening in this race. As looks like the 04 of Tyler Jalbert has officially taken that car behind the wall for the evening, so a tough run there for Tyler Jalbert, who dominated portions of this race. His race will not end up in victory lane. A matter of fact, it's going to end up probably somewhere around 28th or 29th. Tough run there today for the Jalbert team, and a race that looks so promising. We have things doubled up now, though. Our top 5 are all lead lap cars. Ramsey will be on the inside. On the outside will be Karp. And then in 3rd will be Brandon Varney, who, with Luke Turpin and the 04 of Tyler Jalbert being out of the running in this thing, I'd have to say that's the one of Varney that the eyes are all on right now. He has to be looked at as the favorite. after dominating last week and winning at Irwindale Inter, having a car to win at Oxford, and now here once again at Concord. Varney in contention for it. We'll have to see what he can do. Green flag in the air. We are down and away with 95 laps to go, and it is going to be the 34 of Nick Ramsey in the lead. Ramsey with a good jump. Ramsey's going to hold on to the top spot for the time being. Them RKR cars, they've been a little quiet today. Those RTR cars, no RKR, Ramsey Kalen Racing, I almost forgot it, got tripped on my words. There's an RTR and an RKR, Rolling Thunder Racing and Ramsey Kalen Racing. Sometimes I mess them up. But for the Ramsey Kalen Racing guys, it's been a little bit of a quiet day. Octavio Rondoletto's had a rough go of things as that 77 car currently sits in 27th, 70 laps down. The 44 of Byone sits in 12th, a decent run, but still 4 laps down. Ramsey, however, after a little bit of bad luck early, he's been resilient with that car, and he now has that thing up in the lead. And the RKR driver of the 34 flexing a little bit of muscle here as he has that thing out in front of Brandon Varney right now. Top 5, all under a blanket. Some great racing going on here late in the going from the Concord Speedway. Brandon Varney, though, trying to track down the number 34 of Nick Ramsey. He has his uncle Kenny, the helmet trip, all over his back bumper. And I mean, Higgins, the XCAL super fan right now, just has to be loving things as he is sitting shotgun with Kenny, the helmet trip. And actually, we're going to take a quick moment and catch Higgins, the XCAL super fan, as Kenny, the trip's up front racing for the lead. Let's hear what Higgins, the XCAL super fan, saying in the car.
Hey, Petey, there's one thing that we definitely did not account for here. We put a lot of beer in this car, and I drank a lot of the beer that was in this car, and we didn't think about what we would do when I had to take a piss. So I don't know if you want me to, like, hang my dick out the window, or if you want me to go in the cooler, or I don't know, but that's starting to be a real problem.
Well, Kenny just hit the wall a little bit, and he is going for second place right now. Higgins, how's the ride going up there? Are you having a good time racing for the lead in this thing?
Yeah, like I said, I do have to take a piss, and every time he bumps the wall, it makes me have to take a piss a little bit more, and it makes me spill a little bit more beer, and it's just, it's okay, I guess. But like I said, I really got to figure out the piss situation here soon.
All right, well, 10-4 Higgins. We'll let you try to catch up with your P situation there. Best of luck. Hopefully we talk to you again, Higgins.
Thanks, Petey.
That's Higgins, the XCAL super fan. And he's having a rough ride there, it sounds like, from third place with Kenny Tripp. The leader, though, Nick Ramsey, continuing to show the way as he's opened up a little bit of a gap there on Brandon Varney. And Varney in second place. Just really can't catch Ramsey right now. Ramsey sustaining that gap. And the 34 machine flexing his muscle here late in the going as he is continuing to show the way and is really looking like it belongs there as he is not letting anyone catch up to him. Fourth place right now is William Karp. That's probably the closest battle on the racetrack as Karp is under a little bit of siege from his teammate John Schwartz. Schwartz runs right up his bumper as they run in 4th and 5th right now. And in front of them is Kenny Tripp, who obviously has lost a little bit of ground with the one car, but I wouldn't count him out of the going yet. As up front, it does look like Varney now is starting to catch Ramsey a little bit. Varney was quicker that time by the flag stand. We'll have to see how it is that time. And yeah, it does look like the 34 car is starting to get a little tight off the corner. I think the 34 car needs to back up the corner a little bit more there, but that car is getting tight on exit. We'll have to see what happens here as Varney's catching right up to him. Can Varney get around the 34? And at this track, we've seen it all day. Catching someone is one thing, passing them is another. This is not an easy racetrack to make a pass at. And I know that Nick Ramsey is one tough customer. He will not make life easy on the one car of Varney here as he's going to try to make his way to the lead. Varney now right on the bumper of that 34 of Nick Ramsey. Let's see how they're going to race for this thing. Varney just looking for any sort of room. There's none there, though. Ramsey's going to show the way around the flag stand once again. And one thing we got to look at here too late in the game is pitch strategy. How's pitch strategy going to affect things here? Do these guys have to pit? Do they have enough to make it to the end? I know it's awfully close right now, and I'm sure these crew chiefs are down there with the calculator just crunching numbers. A lot of factors playing into the race here late in the going from the Concord Speedway. Ramsey, though, doing a fantastic job right now, fending off Brandon Varney. We have had a change in position. John Schwartz has gotten around William Karp for 4th. So Schwartz has picked up one more spot. Schwartz now 4th. Karp is now 5th. As we're looking at some battles going on around the racetrack, trying to find where the best action is. We have a battle heating up for about 11th right now. Pedro Bywans, he is right on the bumper of Heather Patrick as they're about to do the dance for 11th position. At the same time, I'm keeping my eye on the battle for the lead because Brandon Varney is all over the back bumper of Nick Ramsey right now. I mean, it is a paper-thin margin, and as they start to make their way into lap traffic, this is where things can get really hectic. We've seen it all race long. Lap cars get side by side, they get racing, and next thing you know, you find yourself in the wall, you find yourself in a position you haven't been in all race. It gets very, very hectic. And we saw that take out Luke Turpin and Tyler Jalbert, who are arguably the two cars to beat here tonight. So these guys have to be careful maneuvering lap traffic. Here we go. Varney gets to the inside. No, he gets into the quarter panel of Ramsey. He pushes Ramsey into saving the car. They're both going to continue on. Here comes Schwartz to the inside of Tripp. Tripp throws the block. Schwartz gets caught up in it. And now they're all going to keep him going straight. Varney's into the top spot now. Ramsey's going to be back to second. And third is going to be Kenny Tripp. We will have to see if the 34 of Nick Ramsey will be able to get back up to the one of Brandon Varney. As you know, Ramsey can't be too happy. Contact is made there. Here comes Schwartz now to the inside for third. Schwartz has gotten to the inside of Kenny Tripp. They do go side by side for third and fourth spot. Tripp on the high side does look like he's going to relinquish the spot. Move in JB Smooth now up to the third spot. Now, Kenny's going to get in the back bumper there a little bit, but everyone's going to hang on to it. Now Karp is all over the back bumper of Kenny Tripp, as William Karp having a good run in this race. I've said his name near the top 5 pretty much all night long. He's looking to move up to fourth, as Tripp's just trying to hang on to it. No, Tripp drives it deep into the corner. He's looking to get under Schwartz. Nothing there, though. And once again, Schwartz gets the good run off the corner, and Schwartz is going to hang on to the spot. So Schwartz now will have to set his sights on Ramsey, see if he can catch him for second. As, Kenny Tripp gets loose. Now William Karp gets to his inside. Karp drives to the inside for fourth. Great battle for fourth and fifth. And it's going to be William Karp. He will take the position away as, trouble there with the lap car of Pat Sullivan. And Kenny Tripp straightens it out, but he is back in fifth and has lost ground now to Karp and Schwartz. So Schwartz now going to have to start trying to reel in that number 34 of Ramsey. And John Schwartz, I said it earlier in the race, he had a really good run in the heat race. He was telling me and the team that he felt really good about his car coming into this thing as, Nick Ramsey gets loose off the corner. Here comes Schwartz to the inside. Schwartz has the nose in, battle for second. John Schwartz to the inside of Nick Ramsey, and it's going to be Schwartz driving it deep into the corner. Can he make it stick? They make a little contact, but Schwartz makes it stick. Move Schwartz now up into the second spot. Ramsey back to third. As I mentioned earlier in the race, though, Schwartz, he felt really good about this car, was looking really good in practice. As Ramsey gets him in the bumper there, he's going to hang on to it. They both drive down into 3 and 4. Schwartz hangs on to the car for the time being. He's going to have to start trying to track down the leader, though, as John Schwartz has had a good run all day long. He's just been very quiet. And here late in the going, though, he finds that car running in second. Let's see if he has anything for Varney, although he's not able to pull much of a gap here on Ramsey. William Karp also pulling right up to Ramsey. So we will see if anything can be done about the leader. Brandon Varney continues to be the fastest car on the track. No one's really catching him. Part of that might be due to the great battle that these guys have going on up here. They are very close to each other, so I'm sure everyone's a little bit on the defensive. We have had a change in position. We have had Mark Royce pick up 9th, move Clinus LaBeouf back to 10th. Pedro Bywans is actually caught right up to the bumper of Clinus LaBeouf, so battle for 10th is about to be going on. The battle for second is not over, though, as Nick Ramsey runs right on the bumper of John Schwartz. Schwartz gets a little loose in the corner. He's going to hang on to it, and now Ramsey peeks back to the inside. Ramsey does have the nose inside. They go side by side for that is second and third, but Schwartz gets the good run off the corner. Let's see if Schwartz can make it stick into 3 and 4. He goes a little high in the tunnel turn. That really opens up the door for Ramsey, and Ramsey on the inside as Schwartz just goes way up the racetrack. Yeah, Ramsey's going to take over the spot as Schwartz is now going to slide into 4th. That'll now move up to 3rd. William Karp, as Karp runs right on the back bumper of Nick Ramsey. Meanwhile, Brandon Varney is just putting a peace sign out the window. He's saying, see you guys later, as he starts to pull away from the field. Really not a whole lot of competition going on for him, as he has about 3 seconds on everyone. Looking back at that battle for about 10th, it looks like LaBeouf has held on to the spot for the time being. Still a lot of great battles going on. As Nick Ramsey in second, he actually has opened up a little bit of a gap once again on the 0-8. Looks like our leader might have had a moment in lap traffic, as he just lost a bunch of time to second place. Ramsey did catch him a little bit the last time by the flag stand. We'll have to see if maybe that's a trend that continues. Ramsey, though, in second place, opening up a little bit of a gap now in those BBM cars of William Karp and John Schwartz. And that Schwartz 0-1 looks like it's starting to get a little tight as the run goes on. Schwartz may be losing a little bit of a magic. However, here we go. They've caught right back up to Ramsey, so really no one gaining the edge here. Lap traffic might be playing a factor here as they go around Tyler McRae, who runs in 29th, 166 laps down. McRae getting back out there, though. He has a chance to pick up a few more spots. I understand why McRae has gotten that car back out there running as though Ramsey gets into his bumper. Tough contact there between those two. And you know Ramsey has to be frustrated with a car that's running about 166 laps down right now. As these guys are all racing for second under a blanket. Here comes Carp. Carp's peeking to the inside. Nothing doing yet. Kenny Tripp peeks to the inside of John Schwartz, but that car just will not stick there. Meanwhile, Brandon Varney has once again opened up about a 3-second gap on the field as he's at clear tracks in front of him. Right now he's put in 12th place Alex Gangler one more lap down. A good run for the Gangler 82 team as they find that car running up in the top dozen. A solid run so far for the 82. He's needed that. It hasn't really had a stellar run since he finished 5th at Texas. But here running 12th, I'm sure a run that they'll be happy with the 82 camp. As we look back at that battle for second, caution's out on the speedway. There was a good battle going on, but caution has flown. We're going to have to see what happened, as it looks like someone has gone around somewhere. And I got word that it was Tyler McRae, who was 166 laps down, had some sort of an issue. So we're going to have to see what happened to him. And we are going to have the replay up for you on that in a moment. The replay is up, and it looks like Tyler McRae was racing in front of the 34 of Nick Ramsey in second, and I don't know what happened there, but the 99 car just did not go off the corner. And Ramsey gave him a bump, and the 99 went spinning into the inside wall, and that is what brought out the caution here. So McRae, he did get that car going once again, and when he got it back going, he actually got into Ramsey, and then he spun out Kenny Tripp. So Tyler McRae must not have been happy with Nick Ramsey or someone there. I'm not sure what the deal was with that. But Tyler McRae brings that car down into the pits, and I imagine he's probably done with it for the evening. So I don't know if he was trying to get Ramsey there or what it was. But nonetheless, that is all over with, and now all of our leaders come down into the pits. So Brandon Varney and company get it. Actually, Brandon Varney's already been in and off the pit road. Varney won the battle off pit road. The real battle is for second, as we see Schwartz, Ramsey, Tripp, and Carp all make their way on the pit road. What this caution does is it's going to get Cody Jones back onto the lead lap. It's going to put Marty Zakala back to just 1 lap down, and it'll put Ryan Soper just 2 laps down. So the march towards the front once again begins for some of these guys. A really good run so far for Ryan Soper, as he currently runs in position number 8. He had a rough go of it last week in his first race back at Irwindale Inter. However, this week, the 85 of Ryan Soper running strong up in the top 10 and 8th right now, and a top 5 really might not be out of the question. Got to give it to Pud. He's had a good run so far. So we are looking to see where everyone cycles through. It's going to be Brandon Varney out in front. Looks like second, it's going to be William Carp. Carp got out of the pits in second. JB Smooth, John Schwartz got out of the pits in third. Fourth looks like it's going to be Kenny Tripp. Fifth looks like it's going to be the 06 of Cody Jones. And it looks like Nick Ramsey did get an EOL for that caution. It was given to both Tyler McRae and Nick Ramsey. I believe they deemed it a racing deal between the two of them, so they both were awarded the EOL penalty. And we will have to see where everyone cycles through due to that. Ramsey did go a lap down under the pits, so he lost a lap due to pitch strategy regardless. But he should get that lap back, I do believe. I think the way the wave round system works, it's actually going to be Jones and Ramsey both getting back on the lead lap, and then it'll be Zakala getting back to just 1 lap down in 7th. And Zakala, too, can't compliment him enough. He is running in 7th position right now after starting in 27th, only his second full XCAL race. And I mean, what a job by this guy, as he has that car running up in the top 10. A strong run so far from Marty, as Ryan Soper actually gets a wave round too, so Soper just 2 laps down. A lot of guys having some good runs here. And with about 50 laps to go, we are going to take a 30-second timeout for station identification. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back on Telesign TV. And welcome back here on Telesign TV. My name is PDJ Zettler, the voice of XCAL Racing, and here we sit with just about 50 laps to go. And we have 5 cars running on the lead lap. Brandon Varney is in first, second's William Karp, third John Schwartz, fourth Kenny Tripp, and fifth Cody Jones. On sixth, 1 lap down is Marty Zakawa. And in seventh, 1 lap down is Nick Ramsey. And eighth, 2 laps down is Ryan Soper. Ninth, 3 laps down is Mark Royce. And 10th, 4 laps down is Pedro Bywans. So a lot of guys getting some solid runs in here as we go through turns 3 and 4. The restart will come with exactly 50 laps to go. So a 50-lap shootout to settle the score, per se, here from the Concord Motor Speedway, as we're going to delay this caution one more time. I believe we still have about 26, maybe 27 cars out there on the racetrack running around. A lot of guys turning laps, a lot of laps down. You see Tyler McRae out there about 170 laps down. Alex Hallinar out there 120 down. Looks like Octavio Rondoletto, actually Octavio has left the session. He is no longer in here. Derek Colson still out there, 74 laps down. Greg Holes out there, 69 laps down. Tyler Batchelder, 50 laps down. A lot of these guys out there in tore-up race cars right now, still fighting for decent runs. A guy that hasn't given up yet, Jeremy Leto in 17th, 9 laps down, trying to get a good run in what has been a pretty tore-up race car, trying to make the owner Ryan Soper proud. Pace car pulls into the pit area. We're going green this time by as we come around to the flag stand. The field is at the mercy of Brandon Varney. Can anyone beat him here in the last 49 laps? Here we go. Green flag in the air. We're down and away, and Brandon Varney with a nice jump on the inside. On the outside, though, William Karp does hang tough, and Varney gets loose on the apron. Here comes Karp on the high side. The 08 of Karp has the advantage down the backstretch. They go into turns 3 and 4, and it's going to be Karp on that high side of the racetrack trying to make that thing stick. He does hold it off the corner. That time by the flag stand, it was Varney, but not by much. And it is the 08 of Karp keeping the momentum up. That 08 of Karp is looking good right now. They go down into turn 2, and it will be Varney taking the lead. John Schwartz, though, in an epic battle for third right now with 12 of Kenny Tripp. Here we go. Now it's a battle for second with his teammate, William Karp. As Schwartz continues to race to the inside of Karp. Karp just trying to keep that machine on the high side of his teammate, but Schwartz gets the good run through the tunnel turn. Let's see if he can make it stick in turns 3 and 4. This might be our first chance of getting to see Schwartz take a shot at Varney. Schwartz will get up to second now. Battle for third is on. Kenny, the helmet Tripp, is to the inside of the 08 of William Karp, and William Karp on that high side of the speedway does a good job maneuvering that thing, but it's going to be Kenny Tripp on the low side. He has the momentum, and Kenny Tripp is going to make it stick. He will get around the 08 of William Karp. Karp will just slide in the line as they run from 9th place and 11th place. Mark Royce and Aquinas to the buff. So out front, we do have a wreck. The 16 car is wrecked in turn 3. He gets it going, though. No caution will fly. Out in front, it is the 1 of Brandon Varney. He has about a 7/10 of a second lead over the 01 of John Schwartz. Let's see if Schwartz has anything in the tank of that car that he can start to reel in Varney with. That time by, Schwartz did catch him a little bit. Schwartz was the fastest car on the racetrack. And for a 50-lap run, I really don't hate the 01 of John Schwartz chances in this race. Schwartz car, he has been running good all day long, and that time by the flag stand once again, it was John Schwartz, the fastest car on the racetrack. The 01 of JB Smooth looking stout here late in the going, and the 01 of John Schwartz never won an XCAL event. He's trying to keep the streak of first-time XCAL winners alive. We had Varney win last week. Luke Turpin won a couple weeks ago, which obviously that wasn't a first-time winner. Before him, though, was Tyler Jalbert. We've had a slew of different guys winning these races lately. And John Schwartz would love to throw his name into that fold. Even third-place runner Kenny Helmet Tripp right now. He won his first race at Lanier not too long ago. So we will see if Schwartz can keep that trend alive. However, Varney did pull away from Schwartz that time. Varney got back on the go pedal here. He starts to make his way into some lap traffic as he works right up to Pat Sullivan. This time by the flag stand, 40 laps to go in this race as our leaders are going to try to make their way around this lap car. Pat Sullivan, it looks like everyone will. Battles on for third. William Karp is trying to get to the inside of that number 12 machine. No success yet so far. Battle should be on for about 6th and 7th and not too long as we have Nick Ramsey catching Marty Zakawa to an extent. Up front, though, the gap does widen a little bit. We have Brandon Varney really starting to set the pace as he's pulling a little bit of a gap on John Schwartz. And Schwartz was starting to make it closer there for a little while, but Varney, that car has been pretty strong all night long. And and it looks like he has saved the best for last year as he starts to open up that gap again. Still 35 laps, though. John Schwartz has 35 laps to try to figure it out and see if maybe he can just find something that works there, that he can start to catch the one of Barney. And don't forget, too, there could be a late race restart. We have seen a slew of cautions here late in this race, and there's no guarantee that they're over yet. We still have yet to see our last caution. However, though, Schwartz is starting to run a little bit rougher there in that 01. I've seen him make a couple mistakes. Still, though, he's doing a good job keeping that car out in front. We call John Schwartz Mr. Consistency. Last week he finished 12th. It wasn't the greatest run, but outside of that run right there, pretty much every week I make the same comment of the race that, oh look, John Schwartz is running up in the top 5 with about 50 to go. He just does it week in and week out. Doesn't always have the fastest car, but once again here at Concord, my weekly John Schwartz shout out, running up in the top 3 late in the going as he's starting to get under heavy pressure though from Kenny the Helmet, as Kenny is right up on his bumper. So Kenny Tripp trying to make it a battle for second. They've opened up a little bit of a gap on William Karp. They really have started to pull the gap on William Karp, so that's kind of died down for the time being. Battle may be going to form here for 11th as Quintus LaBeouf and Ben Eaton run relatively close to each other. Eaton not too far behind LaBeouf. The battle for 11th might not be over yet. Still monitoring the battle for 6th as we watch Nick Ramsey try to catch up to Marty Zakala. Zakala having a career day right now in 6th position. I mean, I'm sure he just has to be thrilled with the way his run's going, but he has a long way to bring that thing home before he beats Ramsey. Ramsey's had a really good day too, and I know that car is quick. We'll have to see if Ramsey has the time to catch him. Speaking of catching him, our leader has about 1.2 second advantage over John Schwartz in second. He's starting to make his way into lap cars now as he goes around the DBR 37 of Art Hendren. He's going to make his way up now to Stephen Rex in the 28. And both those cars do get out of the way for the one of Brandon Barney, so no harm, no foul there. As now John Schwartz hopes to have the same fate as Schwartz goes to the inside of the 37 of Hendren. He has Kenny the Helmet Tripp all over him right now. I mean, Tripp is just pinned to that back bumper. And Kenny the Helmet Tripp still not out of this thing yet. If he can find a way around Schwartz in enough time, he is not out of time to catch his nephew Brandon Barney. It is only about a 1.3 second advantage back to second as Kenny right now, though, having a hard time focusing on that number 01 of John Schwartz. That car is having some sort of an issue right now. It's forcing it to go all over the racetrack. Schwartz, though, still drives that thing in second, and Kenny gets loose off of turn 3. He's going to hang on to it, but I wonder if that maybe plays into being distracted a little bit by Schwartz there. Really losing a lot of time with Kenny on that one now, and he just has to focus on his own race. He cannot focus on that 01 car. Still running in 4th is William Karp. He's a little ways behind Kenny Tripp and John Schwartz. He has some ground to make up if he wants to get involved in that battle. And then the last car on the lead lap in 5th, Cody Jones. Cody is just kind of riding it out there on the lead lap. I don't think that car really can catch up to those guys. He's about 8 seconds behind the battle for the lead, so I think Cody's pretty much out of it for as far as anyone's concerned. LaBeouf does now have the 2 of Eaton all over him, so the battle for that is now 10th. Something has happened to Heather Patrick. Heather Patrick has moved down, or actually Mark Royce, excuse me. Something's happened to Mark Royce. Mark Royce has moved down a few spots, so LaBeouf now sits in 10th, and Eaton rides on his back bumper. So a battle for the last spot in the top 10, very much alive. Also, Nick Ramsey, he has started to catch Marty Zakala a little bit. He has caught Zakala by about a straightaway so far. He still has another straightaway to go in the final 25 laps in this race. We will have to see if Ramsey can take away that 6th spot. Those are the best battles on the racetrack, as LaBeouf, probably the closest one is LaBeouf versus Eaton for 10th. LaBeouf has Eaton not too far away behind him. Both those cars run 5 laps down in 10th and 11th. And it's so funny, at the end of these XCAL races, you see so many different cars, so many different numbers of laps down. And that's just because they run the fuel cap. Pretty much each week there's somewhere between 25% and 30% that you're allowed to fill your car with fuel. And what that does is it causes a lot of pitch strategy to take place. So when you see a lot of cars trap laps down, it's usually not due to speed. It's mostly due to random pitch strategy of pinning guys various laps down. And if it was just a pure speed thing, you'd probably see a lot more guys finishing on the lead lap of these XCAL races. But strategy really does throw a shoe in a lot of these races. As we look back up towards the front of the field, it is still Varney with about a 1.6 second lead over John Schwartz. Kenny Tripp in 3rd, just trying to keep ground right now with John Schwartz, trying to make sure the battle for 2nd can stay interesting. Looking at some of these other battles, it's just none of them are getting too close right now. Everything's fairly spread out, I would say. Even LaBeouf has started to open a little bit of a gap between him and Eaton. So Eaton just kind of has to ride right now and hope that maybe LaBeouf makes a mistake. The battle for 14th and 13th is on. Alex Gangler has a mirror full of Mark Royce. Mark Royce is right up on that 82 car as they're racing for position late in the going here. Royce drives that car up the corner right behind the 82 of Gangler, 13th and 14th, very heated right now. And Royce won his heat race, started third in this thing, was running up front pretty much the first 2/3 of this race. However, late in the going, I think pitch strategy kind of pegged him back towards the back of the field, and he just never recovered. Well, it looked like it was going to be a promising day for Mark Royce. It's kind of gone south, but honestly, a 14th to 13th place finish. Still not a bad day in his first race back after a while. I'm sure he's warmed up a little bit and maybe ready for some more XCAL competition as Royce getting the seat time. And come 2021, I'm sure we'll see Royce compete for some wins. Before he went away for a little while, he was up front competing for wins pretty much weekly. I don't expect that to change. Mark Royce is a great driver. So looking at some of these battles for position, Clias LaBeouf has pulled away from Ben Eaton. Clias LaBeouf has firmly put himself in the 10th. The battle for 6th and 7th is getting more interesting. Ramsey has really started to catch Zakala. He has it down to about half a straightaway. 6th and 7th place, not over by a long shot yet, as Ramsey is driving the wheels off that thing, trying to get up to Marty Zakala. And he has been faster than Zakala by quite a bit the last few laps. So Ramsey, he might get up there yet. Still though, Zakala showing the way. And up front, Brandon Varney, 33 cars took the green flag in this thing. Brandon Varney started 32nd. That car had to pass every car except for one in the field to make his way up to this top spot. And an incredible run for Brandon Varney. I mean, last week at Irwindale Inter, I talked about it. He had a dominant run, led a little bit more than half the race, picked up his first career XCAL win. And the week before that at Oxford, he was competing for the win before he had a motor blow. This guy, as of late, has really proved that he is an absolute contender for this thing. And I think people kind of slept on Brandon Varney for a little while. They weren't sure if he was going to run full-time, weren't sure if he really got the whole XCAL thing, weren't sure if he was going to stick with it. A lot of questions were raised about him. However, here, these last 3 weeks, I don't know if he's shown everyone something, but he has absolutely shown me something. He has shown me that it's not just a 2-horse race for the championship next year between Luke Turpin and Octavio Rondoletto. Brandon Varney has pretty much forced his way into the conversation for a name that can compete for that title. And not saying that Turpin and Rondoletto were the only guys that were going to compete for the title beforehand. I mean, John Schwartz, we knew he was going to be a contender of sorts. Kenny Tripp, he's ran good quite a bit this year. If Nick Ramsey wants to run the full schedule, Nick Ramsey, you know he's going to be up there competing for that thing. Even William Karp, he has ran really good at times. And Jordan Babinger, that's a guy that can certainly compete for the championship. But I'm talking top of the top, the best of the best, the contenders, the guys that we know are going to be racing for this championship. We know it's probably going to be Octavio Rondoletto and Luke Turpin running up front. I think it's changed a little bit now, though. You can make the argument that you want to say that Brandon Varney is going to race for this thing. I wouldn't argue with you right now. Brandon Varney won last week at Irwindale, could have won at Oxford, and this week at Concord, sure, something happened there between Tyler Jalbert and the 454s. Oh, Mark Royce gets a little bit into our leader, the 1 car. He's not home yet, we're talking about it, but he only has a 1-second lead over John Schwartz, and they race side by side for 13th and 14th in front of him. And this is not over by a long shot, as now they look like they're going to get out of the way of Varney, but that allows Schwartz to catch up by quite a bit there. John Schwartz not out of this thing yet if he can get through lap traffic. And oh, Varney in the 50 touch. No, the 50 goes around right in front of Schwartz. That's probably going to draw the yellow, will it? We will see as the 50 car spun right in front of the leaders. No yellow, no yellow. We're going to stay green. So we stay green this time by 7 laps to go for Brandon Varney. And I wonder if Mark Royce is upset. I wonder if Royce is going to wait on him. We had nothing yet. Royce keeps that car going. The battle for 6th, just to update you, Marty Zakala does have a pretty big lead over Ramsey. If nothing happens, it looks like Zakala should hang on for a career best finish of 6th. But a little dramatic here late in the going with lap traffic as the 1 of Varney now comes up on the 454 of Luke Turpin. Let's see what happens here. These guys were racing aggressive for the win earlier in this thing, and Luke Turpin's just going to get out of the way. Luke Turpin lets the 1 of Varney go. I didn't really think there was any issues there. I wasn't expecting anything. But honestly, in these races, you just never know. 5 laps to go. 5 laps to go, and no more cautions will be flown. This thing's going green to the end, and Brandon Varney has nothing but clean racetrack in front of him. The next car in front of him, about 3 or 4 seconds, is Nick Ramsey in the 34. Varney clicks away yet another lap in the books. The battle for second has simmered down. Schwartz has a pretty big lead over Tripp. He should be able to hang on. And the battle for, I believe, sixth is really simmered down. It's Zakala's spot to lose. As far as the battle for 10th that we were covering goes, it looks like Clinus LaBeouf should be able to hang on. Another lap in the books, this time by 3 laps to go for Brandon Varney. He brings that car down the backstretch, and as he heads towards turn 3, looks like lap traffic should not be an issue. This time by the flag stand, popsicle sticks in the air, and that's actually Paul Coleman up in the flag stand. He made it to the racetrack with 2 laps to go, and no sooner. We didn't let him in the broadcast booth, made him put out the popsicle sticks, and with 2 laps to go, here comes Brandon Varney down in corners number 3 and 4. He has a clean racetrack in front of him. 2 weeks ago at Oxford, he was running up front, racing for the win when his motor blew. Last week from Irwindale Inner, a dominant performance. He parked that car in victory lane. Today, once again, he leads about half the race, and as he comes down the backstretch and it turns 3 and 4, as we get closer to the 2021 season, there's a new contender in town, and his name is Brandon Varney. Back-to-back, Brandon Varney wins XCAL races. He makes it 2 in a row here at Concord. Brandon Varney firmly puts himself in the list of drivers that are going to compete for this championship in 2021. Second, with a career best finish, is going to be the 01 of John Schwartz. In third will be the 12 of Kenny Tripp. Fourth will be the 08 of William Karp. Fifth will be the 06 of Cody Jones. Sixth, with a career day, a great run for Marty Zakala in the number 52 machine as he brings that car home 1 lap down in 6th. A career day so far in XCAL for Nick Ramsey, bringing that car home in 7th. 8th is going to be Ryan Soper with a really good run today, bringing that car home in 8th after starting dead last on the field. 9th will be Pedro Jose Luis Bywans, and rounding out our top 10 will be Clinus LaBeouf in the 03. So we are going to get a word with some of our top finishers here. And I know that Kenny the Helmet has to take a good bit of effort here to get Higgins the XCAL Superfan out of his car. So we're going to interview second place John Schwartz first before we even interview the third place finisher. But I'm down here on pit road with our second place finisher John Schwartz. And John, an excellent run for you today. Looks like you were kind of hanging with the car there for a lot of the race, but it seemed like in that final stretch there, you had quite a bit of speed. I mean, you were running laps comparable with Varney. Tell me how the car felt there late in the going, and do you think maybe if we saw another late race restart, you would have had something for the 1 machine?
Yeah, well, first of all, I just want to say how great of a race that was. I felt that throughout all the practice earlier in the week, we showed a lot of potential, and I'm glad we're able to deliver in the race. There's always so much that can happen, and so I'm just glad that, I mean, early in the race, we got a few laps down. We were just lucky with the cautions that we were able to get our wave arounds. If not, getting stuck a lap down through those races are really difficult to come back from. So I'm very happy we were able to do that. But yeah, near the end of the race there, battling with Varney, I felt that we were stronger on the long run. So I was kind of impressed I was able to hang with him on the short run. I felt that we normally fell back in the short run and then came back in the long run. But I just have to give a big credit to him to be able to just keep up that pace throughout the whole run. I don't think, even if there was another restart, I don't know if we would have been able to get him, but I'll still take second after a race like that.
Oh, well, we have one more race, and that's the 2021 season, John. It's finally here, the XCAL season everyone's been waiting for. A strong run here at Concord. It looks like your team's picking up traction. I mean, I see that you had 3 cars just in the top 5, and you had 5 in the top 10, so a strong showing here today for your team. Tell me, how do you feel heading into 2021 as we see a good performance here today from your crew?
Yeah, it's definitely great to keep that momentum into 2021. Obviously, every track is different, and so you have to adjust to those things accordingly. But I feel just being able to work together and like talk in the Discord to work on our setups, and even in the middle of the race, just to be able to figure out like when to fight our fights and when to just let people by, since the races are endurance. So I feel as long as we can continue working together like that throughout the season, I feel we'll have a really good shot at the title.
All right, John. Well, before I let you go celebrate a great second place finish with the team, who do you got to thank for sponsors and crew there on the number 01 machine?
I'll definitely thank First and 15, as well as the GTR simulators, and I think those are basically the main people to thank, but obviously as well Tella TV for the great broadcast, and yeah, thank you guys.
All right, that was John Schwartz, second place finisher after a great run. And we are now down here on pit road as it looks like they have gotten, well, it looks like they're still pulling him out of the car. Higgins, the XCAL super fan. Looks like there you go. I think they finally got him out. So we have Kenny, the helmet trip, and it looks like they finally did get Higgins, the XCAL super fan, out of the car too. So first off, Kenny, a great run for you today. Picked up position number 3. Tell me, the car looked like it had speed to hang with Varney there on some of the runs, but did you just maybe get trapped behind some lap traffic there late in the going that held you up?
Boy, was that fun. And I was able to hide one from him. The car was good. I did tighten up the later end of the race there. Brandon is definitely the shoe of the field. He's very consistent. I had nothing for him. I had nothing for John. I just had to know I had to save the right rear tire and go to the end.
All right, now Higgins, your first time being in a race car, and Kenny brought it home in 3rd position. How was it out there?
Now, Kenny, was that one of my beers there? Because I only got down 29, and I was missing the one, and I think that might be the one. I'm proud of your 3rd place finish. You've earned it. Now, it was a good time out there. I had a lot of fun riding with Kenny. When I spilled my beers, I had to find some sort of rag to clean up the beers that I was spilling, and I ended up finding a Spice Girls T-shirt in the back of Kenny's car there, and that actually solved my T-shirt problem as well. So it actually looks like it is signed by Sugar Spice. That's a very, very neat piece of memorabilia there, Kenny. I like this. Can I take this home?
Buddy, for riding with me, you can have it. And this beer in my hand, that was your entrance fee. We had a great time. I hope we can do that again soon.
Oh, well, Kenny, before I let you head out, who do you got to thank for sponsors and crew there on the 12 team?
I got to thank Temp Setters, UNOH, Ecolab, Brandon. He helped me with this setup. I don't think he gave me all of what he should have gave me, but we'll discuss that after. Got to thank Tyler Gelbert, Tyler Batchelor. Unfortunately, had some incidents in the race. Patrick Sullivan, Bruce Helmuth, that was unfortunately he couldn't make it down here this week, but hopefully we're all back and get qualified for the next show, and we'll be here with bells on.
All right, now Higgins, before we let you go too, is there anyone you'd like to thank? Because I feel like you're part of this today.
I'd like to thank Adolphus Busch, the creator of Busch Light, and I'm fucking drunk. I need to go to bed.
All right, well, they're going to wheel Higgins, the XCAL superfan, back to his little hole over there, and I'm going to shuffle my way down onto Victory Lane, where they have the one of Brandon Varney. I mean, the champagne is flying everywhere. It's not too often when they go back-to-back, and here we are in Victory Lane with Brandon Varney. 2nd week in a row, you brought the number 1 car home in Victory Lane, and Brandon, it looks like that car really just kept it going there late in the going. You had the speed that no one could hang with. But tell me, first half of the race, you started in 32nd position. You had to pick your way up through the field. Tell me, how was that coming from all the way back at the absolute end of the field?
I love starting from the back. It doesn't matter what car I race in, whether it's a 4-cylinder or an 8-cylinder. Starting out back gave me a little bit of advantage. I was able to pick my way up through and get to the front fairly quick.
Well, Brandon, it's not too often we have back-to-backs. Actually, only one other person has won back-to-back races in 2020 at XCAL, and that was Luke Turpin. He won back-to-back, I think, on 2 separate occasions. You win back-to-back here. And Brandon, I gotta tell you, we're here late in the running as we get closer to 2021. You now have just won 2 races in a row. Do you feel like you firmly put your name in the list of guys that can compete for this championship next year? Do you think your name's gotta be near the top of that list now?
I just hope I'm not using up all my wins right now. This field is very stout, so it's very tough to get wins. A little lucky today. I was hoping to battle with Tyler and Luke at the end, but it just didn't work out that way. I'll take it though.
All right, Brandon. Well, before we let you go celebrate another great victory with your team, who do you got to thank on the 1 team?
The RPM Racing engines out of Auburn, Maine was really fast today. I can't thank everybody enough. After Luke spanked us in that heat race, I knew we had to go back to work.
All right, well, that's your race winner today, Brandon Varney, going back-to-back. Won last week at Irwindale Winter, wins this week from the Concord Speedway. And that'll essentially wrap things up here in the broadcast booth. Another excellent XCAL feature. A little bit more cautions than usual. I think we probably had six to 8 today. I don't know the exact number, but still a really excellent race. Great racing all the way around the speedway. I know I enjoyed myself watching that one. And next week we have the last race before 2021, and that's it. It's the real thing. So we are going to wrap things up here on behalf of Tanner Kalin and all the fantastic people over at Telesign TV. Thank you for everything you do making these broadcasts possible. On behalf of Aaron Hillbush and the great people over at XCAL Racing that make the races possible, thank you for doing a fantastic job at XCAL. And on behalf of myself, PDJ Zeller, the voice of XCAL Racing, I hope you take it easy and have a great week, my friend. We'll see you same time, different place next week.